You're watching Capital One Bowl Mania.
Welcome to the Myrtle Beach Bowl, presented by Tax Act, as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Beautiful South Carolina on a sun-splashed afternoon. Tell the bosses you can play a little hooky. Watch some college football. It's the Marshall Thundering Herd in their 6th consecutive bowl game, taking on the surprise Huskies of UConn, their first bowl game in 7 years. Hello and welcome with Tara Talmadge on the sideline and the two-time ACC champion Eric McLean. I am Mike Morgan. Great to be with you. We are excited to be the only college football game of the day. That makes us very happy. I'll tell you what else makes us very happy. We've got two teams. You're not going to hear any of this. Zero zilch about players opting out, about players worrying about their NFL draft stock, or about any drama in the transfer portal. Simply put, EMAC, every player down on that field wants to be here and will do anything to pick up a win.
And how refreshing is that? It feels like anytime I go onto Twitter, anytime I look at the ESPN app, somebody's opting out, somebody's gone. So it's very cool and unique to see that in this game. You have to give credit to these coaching staffs emphasizing and putting importance on the postseason, the opportunity that lies ahead today.
You take a look at this UConn squad, and there was shocking news when Jim Mora, of all people, the 61-year-old, took the job in Storrs, Connecticut. They had only won 10 games in the last 6 years. He has done a remarkable job getting this program back on track, and he's got a great true freshman running back who's been outstanding.
Yeah, how great to have Coach Mora back in the game of football and to just see a great freshman running back like Rosa right here. The things that he can do with his legs, his vision, his cutting ability, and then his patience to hit the hole. You see that breakaway speed. He's going to have to play at a high level today against this great defense.
UConn plays a physical brand of offense. So too does Marshall. In fact, they will ground and pound with the best of them. They've got not one, but two great running backs. Leyburn leading the way.
Yeah, Leyburn is just such a special talent. We saw him at Florida State, a 5-star coming out of high school, and to see the ability that he has. Coaches said, hey, it was about the middle of the season when he really started getting back. He got comfortable, took a couple of years off, and now he is playing at such a high level. Power, speed, cutting ability. He has it all. The picture perfect running back, my man.
It is a beautiful afternoon, sunny here in the Palmetto State. Where would you rather be? Let's kick this one off, the 3rd annual Myrtle Beach Bowl, when we come back from the Palmetto State. Now we welcome you back inside of Brooks Stadium now in its 20th year of existence. They redid the turf. They went from the natural grass to the surf turf in 2015. It is a great look on television. It's a beautiful look in person. As we check in with Tara Talmadge.
Well, the Marshall starting quarterback today is going to be Cam Fancher, but he didn't begin the season that way. In fact, it wasn't until mid to late October that he took over the role as the Thundering Herd's starting quarterback. And there were some questions from fans as to why it took so long for him to earn that role. But when we had the opportunity to talk with Coach Huff, he did tell us that it was his time as a backup that really allowed him to develop as a quarterback and be as successful as he is and has been since taking over that role. Now, when we did have the opportunity to learn a little bit about Cam Fancher, he did tell us, he's a retro freshman. He's still trying to find his rhythm a little bit in some areas, but Coach Huff says that he has improved every single week, and he's got over 450 rush yards this season. He is a dual threat. We're going to see how he handles this Huskies defense today.
It is the biggest game of his young career, that is for sure. Tara, thank you much. 1st and 10 from a 31 for the Thundering Herd. The opening drive of this Myrtle Beach Bowl. And they will go straight ahead handoff between the tackles. We'll see plenty of that for the Marshall Thundering Herd. Leyburn on the tackle. Leyburn is on the carry. He's a very interesting story. He's a 5-star recruit coming out of high school out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Signed with Florida State. Didn't work out there. Went JUCO. Then got hurt. And has been great for the Thundering Herd this year. And a big run straight up the gut past the 45 and tripped up at the 47. It's more of Leyburn. Another tackle for Jackson Mitchell. He's got 134 on the year. One of the top marks in all of college football. A tempo on the opening drive. Marshall operating fast, and that one a knuckleball thrown out of the left hand of Fancher, intended for Charles Montgomery. Emac, what do you want to see out of Marshall offensively in this game?
Well, here's what they do. They're going to run the ball time and time again. And just to see these big backs, I want to see Rasheen Ali get in here. He's been hurt all year. Finally healthy last game, goes over 100 yards. Excited to see this 1-2 punch.
It's going to be Laburn in the backfield here. He'll catch the swing pass past the 45 into plus territory, banging bodies to the 45 of UConn. That'll be a yard shy of the first down. Laburn has 16 receptions on the year. He gobbles up 9 yards on that hookup.
Really good job on the outside, getting that leverage, getting your playmaker out in space. 3rd and short here.
3rd down and a yard. Laburn straight ahead, finds a crease and tiptoes his way through a small, tiny hole out to the 41-yard line. Move the chains for Marshall. Swenson on the tackle for the Huskies.
And so an interesting adjustment here that you're going to see from UConn. They put more bodies on the field. You got 4 defensive linemen here. Normally try to be an odd front. They're trying to combat that running attack that we're going to see from Marshall all afternoon.
And they'll now be spearheaded by Rasheen Ali. Number 22 checks in. Again, they got a great 1-2 punch in that backfield. And it will be Ali. Nope, instead play action, and the throw is high, bobbled and incomplete at the 35-yard line. Intended for E.J. Horton, number 13. Now Marshall will set up shop, 2nd down and 10, trying to move the football here on this opening drive. A Thundering Herd on the season, one of the top rushing attacks in all of college football, the 21st best mark, averaging over 205 yards on the ground. Trips to the far side on 2nd down. Huskies dial up a blitz. Fancher over the middle, complete at the 35 and wrestled down to the 34-yard line. Cam Fancher goes underneath. A 6-yard pickup on the play for the Thundering Herd. That's the tight end, Devin Miller. He's a prime target, 20 receptions on the year.
Really nice by the quarterback there, Fancher, just seeing where the blitz is coming from, throwing the ball right behind him. Great identification early in this game.
Another 3rd down conversion opportunity here. It'll be 3rd down and short. They need the 31. Motion to the near side. Trips over there. Fancher rolling out left, looking downfield. Now going to tuck it and run. 35, slides at the 31. Contact there, no flag on the slide. It's going to be real close to a 1st down. Boyer Randall on the tackle.
Yeah, and here you would just love to see your quarterback not slide. As soon as he starts to go down, that's where the ball's going to be spotted. Well short, but they're going to go for it here. They're trusting their offensive line, trusting their run game. 4th and short, I'm not mad at it.
4th down to the yard. Ali to the right of Fancher out of the shotgun. Gets the snap. And Fancher going to keep it. Stacked up, lost the football. Huskies pounce on it. A stop on 4th down. And UConn's defense comes up huge. Durante Jones on the recovery.
What a play by UConn. These guys have been opportunistic all year long. You see the game against Liberty, a massive opportunity. What they do, take away, take away, take away. Here you're going to see just a great zone read. That's take it, run, explode. But just a better job by the defense getting their head on the football, popping that out right there. Really impressive first drive from that UConn defense, getting the ball for their offense.
The drive was 8 plays, 37 yards for Marshall, but unable to convert on 4th down. Our first look at the Huskies offense, led by the freshman tailback Victor Rosa. He's behind the quarterback Turner. And Turner will keep, and he tried to pitch it late, scooped up by Marshall at the 20, and finally wrestled down at the 15-yard line. Isaiah Norman, Johnny on the spot, and UConn gift wraps it right back. A 17-yard return on the fumble recovery.
So let's just erase that fumble. Let's just get rid of it. Nothing ever happened. You're okay. But, man, what an opportunity wasted here. You got a heavy set, running the pitch. Just hold on to it. Just take the tackle right there, Mike. Not a good opportunity at all to push that football. And one of the best defenses in the country come up with the ball for their offense.
Great job poking that ball loose. That's the 6th-year linebacker, Charlie Gray. And Marshall for the season +9 in turnover margin. And as you mentioned, that defense is elite.
I watched the tape. Gray showing up time and time again around the football. Not surprised at all from that first play.
Thundering Herd will set up shop at the UConn 16. On first down, little toss into the flat, caught at the 15 and inside the 10-yard line. That's the top target, Corey Gamage, his 50th reception of the year. Charles Huff now in his second year, former Nick Saban disciple. It's a great story because he's grinded his way first as a player where he played 7 different positions at Hampton and then just went stop to stop as an assistant coach. Finally got his great opportunity here. Second down, pass to the end zone, caught for a touchdown. It's Gamage. Corey Gamage with his 6th touchdown reception of the season, and Marshall cashes in on the turnover.
When we talked to offensive coordinator Clint Trickett, he said Corey is the go-to guy. That's who Cam feels so confident. Anytime he needs something, anytime he needs a big play, that's where he's going. Just a really good job off the break, getting inside. You cannot allow the wide receiver to do that if you're the defensive back. Corey Gamage, too big, too strong, 6'4", 220. What else did you think was going to happen?
It only took 2 plays, 16 yards, 41 seconds off the clock. On the drive after the UConn turnover, Veerhoff hammers home the extra point, and just like that, the Thundering Herd take a 7-0 lead. Corey Gamage, the junior out of Delray Beach, on the grab. Perfect throw here by Fancher. Marshall 7, UConn nothing.
The Myrtle Beach Bowl is brought to you by VisitMyrtleBeach.com. Find where you belong at the beach. TaxAct. File for less and get more. And Capital One. What's in your wallet?
If you know anything about the Marshall faithful, they travel well. 6 straight bowl games. We happen to be staying, some of us, at the same hotel as the Thundering Herd, and there's been a sea of green throughout the Myrtle Beach area for much of this week. Both these teams getting in days early to enjoy the festivities of Myrtle Beach, get the true bowl experience, get the true experience of the town of Myrtle Beach. And, you know, it's a little bit chilly, but you still got plenty of sun, and some of these players, even with the chilly temperatures, were not afraid to jump into the Atlantic. Emac, I know you would have been in there.
No, man, we call that the polar bear plunge,
yes,
baby. Come on, I'm all in that thing.
Absolutely. Now, right now, UConn needs to take a plunge in the right direction. 1 play, a turnover. Marshall capitalizing with a 2-play touchdown drive. That was after a great 4th down stop by that UConn defense. So now you got to shake it off. Again, none of these players have been here for UConn.
Right. You've got to have that amnesia. You got to understand, hey, that was an opportunity missed. We could have really jumped out in front here. Settle in, figure it out, get it going right here.
Back to receive, it's Rosa. Across the 20 and spun down to the 25-yard line as we send it back to the sideline. Say hello to Tara.
Hey, I got to say, it was pretty rowdy over here on this Marshall sideline after that touchdown. Corey Gamage ran over, and he was doing the, what is it, like when they eat the cereal kind of thing? Like, he's just eating all day. He was saying that he's not wasting any time. He's getting straight to it, getting into that end zone. And he was looking into the stands trying to get everyone hyped up. I do have to say, it has calmed down a little bit over here because the coaches came over, told everyone to take a deep breath and say, hey, this is very early. A lot of game left to play.
No question about it. Tara might be one of the few sideline reporters on a bowl game that's wearing warm clothing and having to worry about SPF, because you could get a sunburn with that sun coming down on us here near Myrtle Beach. First down carry, nothing doing. Strung out behind the right side of that offensive line. Rosa trying to get something going, but this Marshall defense is going to be an issue. 6th best against the run in all of college football. 88 yards a game is all they allow.
Yeah, they're pretty good, man. Up front in the secondary, and of course that middle unit there at the linebacker position. Look for UConn to use a lot of heavy packages today to combat that.
Rosa the lone back, Zion Turner the quarterback from the pocket, and deflected, incomplete, intended for the tight end Justin Jolly. He's one of their top targets. Great coverage by Daytwan Smith, who knocked it away.
And so it was interesting when we spoke with Coach G. He said, listen, we want to set the tone on first down. The defensive coordinator said, I want to dictate what these guys do offensively. You've got a 3rd and long here right now. These guys are pinning their ears back and coming after the quarterback.
Burns in a tailback on 3rd down and 11. Zion Turner, the true freshman out of St. Thomas Aquinas in Fort Lauderdale.
So watch 55, Owen Porter right in the middle. That's the edge guy. This is a rabbit package.
And they'll play it conservative, handoff to the right side, and tripped up at the 30-yard line is Robert Burns. So UConn that time not putting any extra pressure on their freshman QB, Eli Neal, on the tackle. He's got 89 of them on the year. Coaching staff calls Eli Neal the voice. He is the leader, the vocal leader of that Marshall D.
Yeah, and we're already seeing the creativity from the defense, the throwing in guys. Like I said, rabbit package. That's when you put a defensive end at a nose guard, at a 3 technique. You want to try and get those mismatches. UConn alleged to run there. It wasn't effective.
UConn just 3 yards on the first 2 drives. Caratan on the punt. A wobbler. And fielded, fair catch at the 37-yard line. That's Gilmore on the grab. It'll be Marshall football when we come back. Thundering Herd 7, the Huskies nothing.
The College Football Playoff Semifinals, Saturday, December 31st on ESPN.
It'll be here before you know it. New Year's Eve, the mega casts. I mean, whatever you want, we've got it for you. I mean, there's virtually no way to televise one of these 2 games that we don't have covered on the ESPN family of networks. So check it out. Michigan, TCU at 4 o'clock. Georgia, Ohio State in Atlanta. That'll be the nightcap. I'll hold off on putting you on the spot, E-Mac, for predictions, but I know you have some strong commentary and thoughts on that. We'll get
I've got some thoughts.
Well, how about some thoughts on UConn? I mean, 2 drives that went nowhere.
Yeah.
Marshall, we know, the more physical team. Feels like this is a big drive defensively for UConn.
It absolutely is. Can we force another turnover? Can we get the ball back in short field position for our offense?
Ali in the backfield on first down. They'll feed him, shifting at the 37 and past the 40 to the 41-yard line. He'll gobble up 5 yards. Rasheen Ali, he led the nation in rushing touchdowns a year ago with 23, and then they kind of kept his injury close to the vest. They finally revealed he had been coming back from a torn MCL that lasted nearly 10 weeks of just kind of getting back into the flow. Now he is back, and that just gives them an extra weapon. Over the middle, open receiver, but coughed up at the 41-yard line. That pass was on the money by Fancher, trying to hit the tight end, Stacy Marshall.
Yeah, and it looked like it was just a little behind. This is great pass pro up front. Just a little bit, but as a big tight end, you have to be that security blanket. You have to come down with that one for your quarterback. The big tight end there took his eyes off of it.
4 wides on 3rd down and 5. 4-man front for the Huskies.
So they're going with a check. You saw those linebackers take a run read. They're either blitzing or in man-to-man across the board. Interesting to see the adjustment here.
Fancher, clean pocket, now dances out. Now looking downfield, he'll tuck it and run past the 45. Penalty flag flies behind him as he slides in past the first down marker, but this is likely coming back.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a hold there, and that's what's so difficult.
Number 58, offense, 10-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
When you have an active quarterback like Fancher, he's dancing around, he's trying to make a play, and then all of a sudden he's somewhere that you don't think he is. You're just reaching out there trying to protect your quarterback. They're going to call you for that. Anytime you're outside the breastplate, you're on those shoulders, they're going to get you.
So as an offensive lineman, when a quarterback does a lot of that, does that frustrate you or just learn to work with it?
Well, it's a double-edged sword, man, because number one, it does make your life easier because you don't have to be perfect.
Right.
But at the same time, you're trying to help him the best you can. Maybe you don't know where he is, and you get caught with a holding there. Now we're backed up 3rd and long and in a really tough situation.
Yeah, that does lead to a penalty here, setting up a 3rd down and 15. Payne the lone back. Fancher stays in the gun, gets the snap, 4-man rush. Fancher from the pocket again, dances out. All kinds of time, uncorks a deep ball down the sideline and over the head of the intended target, the 6'4" Corey Gamage, incomplete. Nice job stiffening up by the Huskies D.
Yeah, that's exactly right. When you see this defense, we talked about have to make something happen. You're going to get ideal field position here after this punt. That's what we needed to see them slow it down. Okay, let's understand where we are. We're in the postseason. We haven't been here in quite some time. How can we make a play for our offense? You got a little help there with a holding call, but certainly a great turnaround.
Cam Ross back to receive the punt from John McConnell. A line drive effort, and it'll bounce right out of bounds near the 30-yard line, so no return on the punt, and the Huskies will have their third possession of the game. Tomorrow we keep on bowling. 2 more games on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the app. Eastern Michigan takes on San Jose State in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl on the blue turf. We got teal turf here, we got blue turf there. Albertson Stadium at 3:30 Eastern time. Hugh Freeze left for Auburn, so Joe Aldridge takes over to lead Liberty. And they'll take on the MAC champion Toledo. That'll be in the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl. So we've got 2 games coming at you. We got San Jose State, Liberty, and we've got Toledo in the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl. That'll be at 7:30 Eastern time. 3:30 and 7:30. The biggest win of the year, by the way, for UConn came against Liberty and Hugh Freeze, and at the time the Flames were ranked number 19 in the country. There was a whole lot of love for Liberty. Remember, they went on the road, beat Arkansas, an SEC opponent. This UConn team, 3 quality wins against Liberty. They beat a 10-win Fresno State squad. They beat an ACC team in Boston College. So 3 of their 6 wins are awfully impressive.
No, there's no question about it. Coach Moore getting these guys to be inspired and doing it at a high level.
On second down, that's the best run of the day, the best play of the day for the Huskies. Devontae Houston, he got hurt earlier in the year against FIU, but the sophomore racks up a big one for 12 yards.
Yeah, now we're seeing that big-time run. Okay, you get that first down. That's where we can really get into rhythm as an offense. That's where we start to feel really good up front and keep those guys moving. Can we take advantage of it here if we're UConn?
The Huskies have not been what you would say a high-powered, high-octane offense. They do just enough with that salty defense to win games. That's what they're going to have to do here today. They'll keep it on the ground, test the left side of that line, and maybe a yard squeezed out by Houston.
So you're going to see this defensive line show various fronts. That they try to show it, okay, 3 down. They try to show a bear look. They're going to have 4 down for Marshall. They're going to stunt. They're going to slant. That makes it so much more difficult to pick up and target where you want to go as an offensive lineman. Look for that a ton today throughout this afternoon.
Turner on second down. Play action. Looking downfield, 3 in the pattern, but nobody was open. I mean, everybody was covered step for step, including Marion, who was the guy he was looking for on the throw, but just no separation.
Again, the aggressiveness from these guys on first down, on second down. They want to really have you in that 3rd down and long so they can be exotics, so they can show you different looks, so they can bring a blitz when you're not expecting it, trying to hurry up your quarterback into making a decision as they're going empty right here, spreading it out.
And Turner 0 for 3. Throwing the football, and a 3rd down and 9 here. 4-man rush. Turner from the pocket missiles that one complete at the 46-yard line, but because he kind of led his receiver Aaron Turner, no yards after catch, and UConn's going to have to punt.
Yeah, and that was a good catch there. Aaron Turner's going to be heavily involved in this passing game. He's their do-it-all receiver. He's going to hand it off. They're going to pitch it to him, throw it to him. He's a special talent. Not the biggest guy in the world, but man, when he catches it with his feet on the ground, look out. He's dangerous.
Well, you're not kidding it. Not the biggest. How about 5'7", 175 pounds, and that's your top receiver.
The ruling on the field of the previous play was a catch. It's under further review.
That's our referee, Ron Hudson, letting us know they're going to take some extra time to make sure Aaron Turner caught the pass. It'll be 4th down regardless, and UConn appears to be punting regardless, but we will step aside. 6:55 to go. It's Marshall on top, 7-0. Well, that reception was indeed overturned. It's not the most consequential overturn. You're talking about 7 yards is what it turns out to be. But as you watch this ball, it clearly hits the ground, Emag.
Yeah, just tries to lead him a little bit too much. Receiver fighting the ball. Obvious the nose of the football there hits the ground. Good call by the referees to get that one right.
Meritan on the punt for the second time. Gets off a beautiful
Look at that
punt. That'll back up Gilmore all the way to the 11-yard line. That's exactly what UConn needed. A 50-yard punt and no return.
Somewhere Pat McAfee is losing his mind, baby. Look at that punt. The spiral, the yardage. And guess what? The best part about it, no return. What a weapon right there. Pin him in the 10.
Thundering Herd, what have they done this year? Well, they made national headlines with a victory over a top 10 Notre Dame squad. That's easily one of the biggest wins in the history of the program. They closed out the season winning 4 straight and a very good Sun Belt conference that made a lot of news with some major upsets early in the year. Sun Belt, Stun Belt is what it was with a number of victories over Power 5 programs. And in year 2 of Charles Huff, this is a Marshall program. First off, great addition to the Sun Belt, right? They spent years in other conferences. It wasn't that long ago. They were racking up national titles at FCS with guys like Randy Moss and company. But they have found a home in the Sun Belt, and this is such a rich tradition, very prolific program that I think is going to make a lot of noise for a while.
I don't think there's any question about that. Go to the transfer portal, get a couple of pieces, and man, you feel really good about where you are. Built by defense, built by culture, and of course on the other side on that offensive line, and really just establishing that up front. That's how you do it. You build it from in to out, start on the line of scrimmages. That's what they're doing here, 3rd and short. Look for this offensive line to really get a good push here.
Layburn stays in the game behind Fancher, gets the carry, and a nice hesitation before he fires through a crease on the right side. That'll be a first down.
And so you're seeing that vision, you're seeing that comfortability that maybe you didn't in the first 3 or 4 weeks here from, Kalen there to get back into the rhythm. A guy from Virginia Beach, 7'5'7", the abilities that he have, undeniable. Good to see him getting back to his final form.
He was initially recruited by Charles Huff when Huff was an assistant coach at Penn State. Never lost contact, and the moment he got the job at Marshall, he started making sure that Layburn knew he had a home with the Thundering Herd if he wanted it. And what an addition he has been, the former Florida State Seminole. Play clock down to 2. They get it off with a 4-man rush. Fancher, nothing doing, sacked in the backfield. Great pursuit that time by the Huskies. That'll be Price Yates, number 90, with his 5th sack of the year.
Just a great job there by Yates, continuing to fight through. It was good protection by the offensive line. Would love to see the quarterback roll out instead of going up into the trash there. Good job staying patient by the defensive line.
Quick snap on 2nd and long, and it's flared out to the far side to Charles Montgomery. Nice pickup on the play. It'll be a 3rd down and short after an 8-yard hookup with Fancher and Montgomery.
So this is where you want to be, 3rd and 3. Everything open in the playbook. You're a running team. Would not be surprised at all if they try to run for this first down.
They will throw it near side and nowhere near the intended target. That is Shadid Ahmed, the redshirt junior out of Richmond, Texas.
Just a ball that sails there on your quarterback. Again, knowing the down and distance, understanding your strength. Really would have loved to see, them rely on that big offensive line, rely on that duo that you have in the backfield with Layburn and Ali. It's been impressive to see them all year long. Of course, the last game with the duo at full strength.
I will say this, when we were down on the field before the game, you don't necessarily see it with any of the flags or markers, but it was a pretty strong wind going to our left. On the return from the 34, that's Cam Ross. And Ross will angle near the boundary down at the 38-yard line as we check in with Tara.
You guys were talking about how you were down here with me on the field pregame, and we had the chance to talk with Coach Mora a little bit before kickoff, and he told us that, look, everyone knows that the Marshall defense is pretty stout, but he challenged his defense to be the best defense out there today. And I got to say, they're doing a pretty stellar job so far.
I think Jim Mora knew the importance of coming out strong in this game. And again, every player on this UConn roster to a man, this is foreign territory. They haven't been playing in bowl games in UConn. In fact, it's a program that won one game last year and did not play any football in the COVID year of 2020. They'll test the middle of that offensive line. And the defensive line for Marshall is stout. Bruton on the carry, maybe a yard on the play. Jim Morris, 61 years young, of course 6 years at UCLA. He was out of coaching. Him and his wife were just enjoying being empty nesters, in the state of Idaho of all places, Sun Valley, Idaho. And then all of a sudden he gets a call when his wife and he are on vacation in Italy, and it's the AD of UConn saying, we got to talk. Jim Mora winds up going back home to Sun Valley, Idaho. The athletic director, David Benedict, spent 5 days in Idaho. This is picked off. This is picked up by Marshall, and the Thundering Herd are going to have a pick six. That is big old Isaiah Gibson on the pick and a 34-yard return.
About that play, just staying patient. Big defensive lineman, 99, 89. It looked like Big Barber, I think. He looked like a tight end out there, man, playing that screen. There he is, the turnover belt. Man, it's great to see that from a defensive lineman. You see screen. What are you taught to do, Mike? You slam on the brakes. You sit there. You try to find where's the running back, where's the tight end. Did an unbelievable job like that. It looked like there was a corner cat also coming off the edge with Andre Sam. Right in the quarterback's face. Damian Barber says, I'll take that.
Damian Barber is a sixth-year senior and a transfer from Penn State. And Marshall now with 14 points off turnovers.
Yeah, man, it's just a very impressive job. Again, the blitz is there. It's in his face. He does not see the defensive lineman slamming on the brakes. Big Barber said, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. And I'm going to show it off right here. Get in the end zone. Coach, he's not happy. He doesn't like that at all.
Yeah, it's worth noting, Zion Turner, again, a true freshman quarterback. Initially, it was Taquan Robinson, another former Penn State Nittany Lion, who was going to be the starting quarterback, a redshirt sophomore who had the experience. He got hurt in the first quarter of the first game, so they immediately had to turn it over to a true freshman who has a great track record of winning 3 straight titles at St. Thomas Aquinas, but so far he looks a little bit overwhelmed in this matchup.
And this is what's going to be interesting. What do you do if you're UConn? Speaking with this staff, say, hey, this is what we do. We run the football, but you get down, you're having this physically imposing defensive line and defense in front of you. You have to mix it up a little bit, or you're just going to keep getting beat over the head. Interesting to see. Do they make a change? Do they say with their guy, does they feel like he is the best option throwing the football?
Well, they have basically gift wrapped 2 touchdowns here for Marshall in the opening quarter. That's Burns on the return, and it will be good field position for the Huskies. A 22-yard return, and we'll see who comes out at the quarterback spot. Cale Millen and Tyler Pumachan are the 2 backups for UConn, but combined they have thrown 12 passes all year. It's not like you have a true plan B here if Zion Turner is not your guy. And it looks like it is going to be the backup, Cale Millen. So what do we know about Cale Millen? Well, he's a redshirt sophomore. He's a transfer from Arizona, from northern Arizona, that is. 4 for 12 on the season. 1 touchdown, no picks. So he has played sparingly. And this is obviously the biggest spot he's been put in all year.
Not a great start, backing up 5 to start the deal here. I don't know if they didn't see the clock. Interesting, not sprinting out there with the clock going down.
Well, and you got your backup quarterback.
You're facing a little adversity right here.
I mean, it's adversity on top of adversity for the Huskies here in this first quarter. Burns is the lone back on first down. Millen going to keep it. Millen breaks 1 tackle but can't break another. He's down at the 31. So you're looking at 2nd down and long for the Huskies.
And not a super effective play, but I like the play call. Let's get him hit. Let's run the football with our quarterbacks, settle some of those nerves. I do not like when quarterbacks come in first play of the game as a backup or an injury and they're throwing the ball. He's cold. He's on the sideline. Let's let him get warmed up a little bit right here.
This Marshall defense has just been wrecking the backfield of UConn, and they're wrecking people on the outside as well. That's a catch, but an immediate pop and drop. Aaron Turner reeled it in, but Daytwan Smith takes him right to the surf turf.
I asked Coach, I said, hey, listen, Huff, what's so great about your defense? What is it? Is it the front? Is it the back? Is it the middle linebackers? He said, it's all of us. These guys have to play together for our defense to work. You're seeing that right now. Everybody flying around the football.
Top 10 nationally in almost every meaningful statistical category. Gave Notre Dame fits in that upset win in South Bend earlier this year. 3rd down and 12. From the pocket, deep ball, down the near side, has a man, and it's behind the intended target, Marion. Marion had a step, and if that ball is on the money, he's got Abraham beat.
And here's the deal. You have your man beat. It's man-to-man on the outside. You're feeling good. Just air it out there. Safety loses track of him. That's a big play. That's a big pickup there, just behind DB in the right spot. Little lucky right there.
I'll tell you one other factor on that play. The throw was off, and you and I are battling this too in the booth. That sun,
it's not fun.
That is coming through on that end zone. If you're looking back into it, good luck trying to see it. It is extremely difficult at this time of day here in Conway.
I told you when we were down on the field, if you ever build your football stadium east and west, don't go north and south.
Gilmore will watch this one take a bounce on the turf. It'll be a Marshall bounce. Fielded at the 41-yard line, so more good field position for Marshall. I referenced that Notre Dame game. That was back in September, and I mean nobody saw this coming. Everybody was high on Notre Dame at the time, 8th-ranked team in America, but oh boy, Kalen Laburn says, I got something for you, Fighting Irish. And then the pick six. That is Stephen Gilmore. That is a younger brother of the former All-American DB at South Carolina, Stephon Gilmore, who's still getting it done. Yeah, he's still getting it done in the NFL. Stephen Gilmore was the National Defensive Player of the Week with that pick six. And Marshall was on the map. So too was Charles Huff for the new era of Marshall football. Sun Belt year 1, top 10 road victory. Coach Huff was telling us they went and tried to buy every program from that game, auctioned them off to raise more money for the Marshall Athletic Department. You can't put a price on a program from a win over a top 10 Notre Dame team, right?
Yeah, no question about it. And the just to have that memorabilia, that moment in time, absolutely special, almost as special as Rasheen Ali there, putting an absolute move on a man in the backfield, picking up the first down that should have been a 3-yard loss.
On first down to the ground, it's Ali. Gobbled up that time, right near the line, maybe a yard. Well, when you pick up a win against Notre Dame on the road and you're Charles Huff, yeah, you get that. You get every copy and every piece of evidence you can find, paraphernalia, and you put it right in your office. This is in Coach Huff's office. And I mean, anything that had pictures, stats, headlines, it's wallpapered in the office of one Charles Huff, and who could blame him? Great recruiting tool, to say the least. 2nd and 9 for Laburn. In the backfield behind Fancher. And it will be play action. Fancher cocks and fires, completes at the 43, slipping on the turf and falling down quickly. That is Caleb McMillan on the reception, his first grab, as we're ticking down at time for one more play in this first quarter. Again, the UConn defense asked to come up big here on a critical 3rd down, 3rd and 4. Fancher fakes it to Laburn, tosses out in the flat, and that's just a flat-out drop. Devin Miller, the tight end, saw it go through his hands. I'll reference the sun again. I'm not trying to make excuses, but it is a bear.
No, there's no question about it. When guys are rolling to the right, looking downfield, there's the sun just a little bit high and outside for his wide receiver. It's been a common theme that we've seen from both of these quarterbacks, just not quite being on the same page with the receivers. A little bit of nerve, some postseason. They've got to get it going.
Wortham back to receive the punt with the incompletion. The clock did stop with 8 seconds, so this could be the final play of the opening quarter, but it's going to be a fair catch, so we're going to keep it right here.
You get one more. One more, baby. Come on.
This will be the longest 8 seconds perhaps in Myrtle Beach Bowl. Say that 5 times real fast. Myrtle Beach Bowl history, which is now in its 3rd year. Tulsa won it last year. You were here a couple of years ago.
App State
put on a show.
Man, it was an honor to call the inaugural bowl here as a South Carolinian, the first bowl game in South Carolina. Just a really cool partnership with the town, with the school, and of course bowl season. Great to have a bowl game in the state of South Carolina.
Again, tough field position for UConn. Pinned inside its own 10-yard line. Rosa, the tailback. The freshman will not get it. Instead, it'll be a quarterback keeper, and there's just nowhere to run for Cale Millen. I mean, Owen Porter, who's first team all Sun Belt defensive end, he's living in the backfield. He gobbles them up for a loss of 2. UConn's going to have to regroup. That's a first quarter dominated by the Thundering Herd. Myrtle Beach Bowl on a sunny Monday afternoon. Be back in just a moment. Now you look at some of the history in bowl games for this UConn program, 3-3. The last one came in 2015 against Marshall. The last win, you got to go back 12 years in Birmingham, the Papa John's Bowl, knocking off the Gamecocks. Talking to some people that were at that game, it was cold, it was chilly, and they ran out of pizza. So it's not an easy day for some of the fans in that bowl game. But UConn trying to scratch and claw their way back in this game and back as a program. And again, I think, Eric, when you look at Coach of the Year this year, it's going to be awfully hard to beat Sonny Dykes, the job he's done at TCU. But Jim Morris should be on some ballots now. This is a UConn program that some people were even saying, well, they probably ought to just go FCS. It's just not working out. They didn't play it all in 2020. They won 1 game in 2021. It just, nothing seemed to be going the program's way. Jim Morris gets the job, and people are like, huh? That Jim Morris Jr., really? And all of a sudden, for him to pull out a 6-win season, a bowl game appearance in year number 1, that is way ahead of schedule. Look out, throw from the end zone and caught at the 11-yard line. Playing with fire was Cale Millen, rolling left and throwing in traffic, but completing it to Jacob Lynn.
Man, that was a little bit of an adverse situation there. Right-handed quarterback, let's make him roll left in his own end zone. That's just a really difficult play to come up with. Good thing Disaster not striking there as he was rolling right into Owen Porter, who I like to call a war daddy out on the edge, number 55 for the defense.
That is the 3rd 3-and-out for this UConn offense. Whether it's Zion Turner or Cale Millen, neither quarterback has really had success putting together a drive here. Punt from the end zone.
Look at that.
Another boom. Oh my goodness. A bounce at the 30. And that's going to roll inside the 20-yard line. There is a flag on the play, but George Carradine has been the MVP for UConn. 2 sensational efforts on his part.
My goodness, just dropping airstrikes in Conway, South Carolina, falling from the sky. This young man.
That is a 74-yard punt. But there's going to be a penalty flag, a personal foul.
He kicked it too far. I got to back it up.
Personal foul on the Huskies. Boy, when it rains, it pours.
Oh, gosh. Interesting if it comes from the, I mean, this is going to be weird.
Personal foul. Illegal blindside block. Number 97, kicking team. The penalty is half the distance to the goal from the previous spot. Remains 4th down.
So we're going to re-kick, and he wants to go for 80.
Yeah, well, I would not hold it against him. I certainly wouldn't count him out. That's Jelani Stafford on the penalty, by the way. So here's Carradine back out. A sophomore out of Delano, California. He came in on the season averaging a little more than 40 yards a punt with a long of 55. He has surpassed that by leaps and bounds in his last 2 efforts. And now you've got your heels are nearly touching the end line. You certainly want to avoid a safety here. Got to have a good snap. And you got to be nifty with your footwork. See if Marshall brings some heat. They do. Low snap, punt is away. This one not nearly as good, a wobbler, but another penalty flag. 2 of them in the end zone. We might have roughing the punter. A whole lot of drama happening in that end zone on punts here.
So it's going 60 yards, or he's getting you a free first down. What do you want to do here, man? MVP of the game, as you said. Interesting to see the call. 5 yards or 15 in the first. We're talking about it.
Again, our referee is Ron Hudson.
And they're going to kick it again. Let's go for a third one. It's entertainment, brother. The people want this.
The kicker, number 41, defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains 4th down.
So running, not roughing. And that's the difference between an automatic first down, and we get to see the George Carradine show continue for a 3rd straight punt. Punters are people too. Punters are getting some major limelight here.
That's right.
Hey, look, he's cracking a smile right now. He's like, this is practice, man.
He's feeling good, baby.
Getting my reps in. Take 3. And another boomer. Fielded by Gilmore off his shoulder pads. Now he's going to circle backwards to the 35 and tap dance his way to the 43-yard line, and another penalty flag right near where he was brought down. So a 45-yard punt, and we'll see what the flag is all about. You would think it would be against Marshall on the return.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 41, return team. 10-yard penalties from the spot of the foul. First down.
Deone Hill on a penalty flag. Turnover's really been the story of this game so far, Matt.
It absolutely has. Just an inadvertent one right here. Just take the tackle, giving it up, and then you see here just too much pressure for the quarterback. Big time play by the defensive lineman, Damian Barber. Head on a swivel, looking like a tight end, running into the end zone. I hear you, big man.
First down 10 for Marshall at the run 30.
Now, 1st and 10, Thundering Herd from the 30-yard line. And to the run game. Probing the left side, gobbling up a couple as labor, as we say hello once again to Tara.
Yeah, talking with Coach Huff earlier in the week, he was telling us about the team motto that they have this year. He said that they're going with the "we're all we got and we're all that we need." That is definitely a very fitting statement for this team. They are having a pretty dominant performance so far. He said they're young, but they've got competitive maturity, and I think we're seeing that today.
Yeah, no question, Tara. And again, they hit a rough patch. You know, they had the win against Notre Dame, and it was a love fest nationally for Marshall football, and then all of a sudden the Sun Belt can humble you. They had some tough losses, they had some close losses, and even in the 4-game win streak to end the season, a lot of those games were come from behind. They had to scrap and claw their way. They're playing their best football of the season right now and facing a 3rd and 9 here. Layburn empties the backfield. Marshall will go 5 wide. 4-man rush, little swing pass, and that one is way over the head of Jaden Harrison. We have seen some what should be routine throws that are nowhere even close to the intended target.
Yeah, just struggling to hit his wide receivers. You think that these are easy pitch and catch, get it out to your guy, get him in space. Just hasn't been the answer right now for this Marshall offense. Hasn't been super inspiring all year long in the passing game, but certainly run. They have to get back to that ground and pound. That's who you are. That's what you do. You have to keep moving these sticks and keep it going.
You almost feel like you're doing Connecticut a favor
Absolutely.
when you throw in that situation. Oh, a dangerous decision to scoop it up by Cam Ross at the 33. He's brought down immediately after a 37-yard punt. 14-0 our score. Beautiful Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Myrtle Beach Bowl. On Wednesday night, Bowl Mania marches on to the Bayou. Quarterback Austin Reed leads Western Kentucky against the Jaguars of South Alabama, who are one of just 4 Group of 5 teams to win 10 games this year. That's the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the app. With Tara Talmadge, Eric McLean, I am Mike Morgan. Great to be with you on this Monday afternoon. The Myrtle Beach Bowl, the third of its kind between the Thundering Herd of Marshall and the Huskies of UConn. Big drive here for UConn. They have not been able to get much going offensively. 25 total yards. They came in as a really good running team led by that man, number 22, Victor Rosa, the true freshman out of Bristol, Connecticut.
Going back with Zion here, Turner, the quarterback that he's been able to do 0 for 5 and a pick. You have to settle down. You have to be able to get him going to just have a little bit. We're not asking him to throw for 300 plus yards, but just get us to go a little bit here.
I think the 2 words you used are perfect. Settle down. How about a little trickery? Reverse. Trying to get to the edge, past the 35, a crease down the 40 and down the sideline, and pushed out of bounds is Devontae Houston. Biggest play of the game thus far for the Huskies.
Man, and this is what is a little uncharacteristic from Marshall to be tricked. These guys always stay home, stay in the right spot, but you see a great job at the bottom of your screen, the wide receiver running a slant, then going to block. When you get the edge and your receiver hauling like that, man, it's fun. It takes you back to your youth, the good old days. Great job there again, getting some juice. Zion Turner being the quarterback. Let's get some positive vibes going here and get this offense rolling.
It's a 27-yard pickup, but it feels like much more than that in terms of the importance of the play. On first down in plus territory. This is what Turner does best. Turner, an ankle tackle away, or he turns that upfield. He's out to the 23-yard line of Marshall.
You're not lucky, you're good. When you're calling a quarterback draw and you run right into a corner cat, man, there's nobody home. There's nobody there, and does a great job of evading pressure early, getting to the second level, picking up the first down. Now we're feeling that juice. Now we're feeling the offense feel confident to where you can really get rolling. Need to see him complete some passes.
45 yards already on the drive. Burns stays in a tailback. They'll fake it to him. We got a double pass situation. No, he's going to tuck it and run. I think he was looking. That's Millen, the backup quarterback. So, yeah, you had quarterback to quarterback, and Millen was looking downfield, but it wasn't there.
Yeah, we're going double reverses. We're going double passes. Listen, when you're the quarterback and you're trying to get it out in space to another guy, here's what he's looking at. Great job getting back behind him and just 2 high safeties behind him. They're in a cloud coverage, nowhere to go. Good decision. Would like to see him actually throw it out of bounds there. Not take a loss.
And you're Jim Mora Jr. and you got 31 years of coaching experience. There's not a play he hasn't used. Little pitch play. This is Rosa trying to get to the edge, shake and bake, and then plowing ahead, but he is game tackled at the 28-yard line by the Thundering Herd. Swarming defense led by 55, Owen Porter, the redshirt junior from Huntington, West Virginia.
Yeah, UConn says we've got an army. Marshall says we have a Hulk. Owen Porter just being such a great guy, coming over the top. That's a defensive end out there looking like a linebacker, tracking his guy down. Really impressive all day from Owen Porter, making his presence felt.
Last 5 plays, UConn outdoing what they did in the first 17 plays. We'll see if they can keep it alive here. 3rd down and 14. Turner, cluttered pocket, flushed out to the left, and then throws a great catch, but out of bounds that time. That's Justin Jolly on the reception. Beauplan was in heavy pursuit of Turner, who runs well, but a lot to ask out of the true freshman to throw in this spot.
And listen, when you're in 3rd down and long, we know Marshall is going to bring pressure. These guys are going to try to hurry that quarterback's thought process up there. Actually, a great catch on the sideline, just happened to be out of bounds.
Now, Noe Rulis is the kicker, and he has a long of 54, so this is definitely within his range. It'll be from the 45-yard line. 45-yard attempt from the 35. Ball on the hash. Snap and hold are true. Kick is on the way, and it is wide. Wide left. Rulis does have a strong enough leg, but not accurate enough there. And the best drive of the day for UConn ends with 0 points. 14-0. Thundering Herd. Jim Morris saying, come on, man, can we catch a break today?
The Myrtle Beach Bowl is brought to you by Dollar General. Save time, save money every day.
I mentioned the players have had a blast in Myrtle Beach throughout the week, getting here days early. How about some bowling, some video games, little Dave and Buster's action, the polar plunge in the Atlantic. Who cares if the temperatures are 50 degrees? It's the ocean, baby. We're from West Virginia. We're enjoying that. We're from UConn. It gets pretty cold up there in Storrs, Connecticut, so this is like a day in Miami for these players taking part in the 3rd annual Myrtle Beach Bowl. Mike Morgan, Eric McLean having a whole lot of fun here today. Marshall dominating thus far thanks to 2 turnovers by the Huskies. And Marshall will go to the ground game on first down. Penalty flag right near the boundary, near that pileup at the 30-yard line. And we have an injured Husky down on the field.
Personal foul, face mask, number 91.
McCarthy is the man guilty of the penalty. That's Aladelli down on the ground for Connecticut, one of the backup defensive tackles. And we will step aside with 8:17 to go here in South Carolina. You want more bowl games? We got them for you. Just one today, but how about a couple more tomorrow? The famous Idaho Potato Bowl. The Boca Raton Bowl, that'll feature Liberty again. They've got a new coach coming to town. They'll have an interim for that game, but Jamie Chadwell, who has been coaching here on the home field for Coastal Carolina, is going to leave and take the Liberty job. That'll be a huge advantage for the Flames, one of the hottest coaching candidates out there. Again, our football look ahead brought to you by visitmyrtlebeach.com. Marshall looking to add to a 14-0 lead and looking to control the ground game, which they've done so well this year. That's Ali on the first down carry, brought down by Malcolm Bell.
And really would just like to see them lean into this run game more. That's what you do so well. You've got 2 star-studded running backs in LeBourne and Ali there. Use that big offensive line. Let's get it going.
You mentioned big. They are massive on that offensive line. Breaking tackles and breaking free down the sideline and shoved out of bounds inside the 15 is Ali. Bell will get credit for the tackle, but not before a 34-yard scamper.
You call for it. Let's get it. Come on, go on the outside. Little outside zone here. Good job stretching that play, putting his foot in the ground, and then having the lower body strength to break some tackles. Would love to have seen him finish the drill here, but a backside defensive back makes a great angle, great play.
This is what we thought we'd see out of the Marshall offense really this whole game long. Tempo, first down, quick toss in the flat at the 5 and right into the end zone. A touchdown for the tight end, Devin Miller.
Supplement the rush attack with the passing game. You don't have to be perfect. Just get out in space. Fancher deliver the strike, the 6th-year player in the tight end in Miller. Really good job there showing the run and then just having the ability to get out in space, flip your hips, and throw the pass there from the lefty. Really good play design.
Miller is a 6-year veteran out of the state of New Jersey. 2nd touchdown reception of the year for him. Fancher 9th touchdown toss of the season. And a 4-play, 73-yard drive culminates in another Marshall touchdown.
Yeah, you think these guys aren't excited? You see the big tight end get in space. QB, let me do the rest. You love to see it. 2 guys having fun. 21-0. Marshall up.
Evan Connors, thank you so much. We welcome you back inside Brooks Stadium here in South Carolina. Mike Morgan, Eric McLean with Tara Talmadge on the sideline. Marshall has dominated thus far, thanks in large part to a couple of turnovers. Just careless turnovers by the Huskies. UConn trying to secure the ball here on the return and banging bodies to the 30-yard line. A minus gain on the return, and now 1, 2, 3, 4 late penalty flags just came out well after the play was whistled dead.
And just silly plays, Mike. What we've seen from these guys, you get an opportunity and just can't take advantage of it. or just give it back to Marshall. You have great starting field position here. Looks like it's going to be at the 35. Here comes a 15-yard penalty. They're discussing, so maybe 2, but everybody pointing at number 20 from UConn.
Well, that would be Damon Brinson.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 20, Connecticut. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. That's number 20's first unsportsmanlike of the game. First down, UConn.
And it's just uncharacteristic of a Jim Mora-led team. When you see this, after the play, extracurricular, he's blocking, okay, and then you're punching him in the face. I mean, what do you think is going to happen here? There's 5 referees surrounding you, and now you're putting your team, who's going against a very good defense, in a horrible starting spot here. Just, you got to be a little smarter than that. You've got to do everything you can do to help your team, not hurt your team.
Yeah, it's a true freshman making a true freshman mistake, and a critical one. Like you said, it was good field position. Now you're back at your own 15-yard line. Turner stays in the game at quarterback. He was yanked earlier, back in for another drive. They'll go to the ground on first down, bottled up, no gain, and a flag, and a likely holding penalty on the Huskies. I always know when it's a hold because I just look at Eric McLean and he's already given the signal. Nobody's.
Number 64, offense. Penalty is declined. Result of the play, second down.
Nobody spots a hold better than a former all-conference offensive lineman. That's on Christian Haynes. That's an All-American we're talking. He is their best prospect and a first All-American for UConn since 2010, but he gets called for the hold.
And it's just so difficult. Again, we saw Marshall stem to that bare front, and you've got guys trying to cross your face. You've got guys slanting. When they're rolling like this, they're hard to stop. Marshall defense.
Huskies going in the wrong direction. Now 2nd and 12. Delayed handoff, stacked up, nothing there, no hole, no crease, no daylight.
And this is what we referred to in the first quarter. When the defensive coordinator says, I want to dictate what this offense can do, he's doing it. He's done it all game long. He's setting the tempo, bringing pressure when he wants to, showing that man-to-man press when he wants to, stemming, showing different looks. It's been very tough for UConn to not only target, but then to pick up who they're supposed to block. They're showing a bare front again right here. Watch an exotic blitz.
0 for 5 on third down to the Huskies. Marshall #1 in the country in third down defense. Deep shot down the sideline, contact, and that's likely going to be interference on Micah Abraham, the all-conference defensive back whose father, Donnie Abraham, 38 career interceptions in the NFL.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 6, defense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
A big break for UConn. It was an easy call to make. And, you know, I know it goes against the bread and butter of what this offense is made for, but they might have to do more of this.
You have to, especially when you see that man-to-man on the outside. No safety help. You have to be able to take shots. And that ball was a little high and outside, but you get the penalty. Need to see him start settling down, make some receptions here, get it to your receivers.
The Huskies have 6 200-yard rushing games on the year, but they have had very little crease or opening on that offensive line for these running backs. Is same thing right here. I mean, if you're Victor Rosa, what do you do there? There's nowhere to run.
Yeah, I mean, this defense just really doing a great job. Again, slanting, stunting. Owen Porter, the coaches say, listen, he's like an extension of us out there. He knows the defense better than we do sometimes with the audibles, with the communication. And time again, this young man showing up on tape. First team, all conference. I mean, he's just different.
For the first time today on this drive, the sun has set, so the glare that was a factor early on shouldn't be the rest of the way. On 2nd and long, deep ball over the middle, has a step, thrown from behind and still caught by Marion. Great adjustment to the football by the sophomore out of Atlanta, Keelan Marion. He beat Abraham for 38 yards.
Man-to-man, outside, no safety help. Zion able to take cover of this. You see the safeties are down and man across the board here, leading his receiver. It's the hardest pass for whatever reason to throw that post. He makes it happen. Huge pickup.
Turner, to use your words, settling down a bit, gaining confidence, throwing the football better. Still no daylight for anybody running the ball. Victor Rosa has really been kept in check. He's their leading rusher and really their best weapon on the regular season for UConn.
Good job by Owen Porter setting the edge out there, not allowing the explosive Rosa to get to the outside. But if we can hit some passes, if we're UConn, if we can get them to guess where they don't necessarily know we're running it every play, that's when the run game can start be supplemented in, which is what you want to do.
Rosa and Burns, the two backs to the left and the right of Turner out of the shotgun on 2nd down and 8. Play number 6 on this Husky drive. Play action. Turner with time. And nothing there that time. That is caught. Did he catch it in bounds? They're going to say yes, an interception by Gilmore. Stephen Gilmore never gave up on the play. I thought the ball was going to sail out of bounds, but they're saying he got it with 1 foot inbounds.
You think this game doesn't matter to him? From South Carolina on the biggest stage. His family's here. Look at that. Oh, it would have been good on Sunday if he got both the men. Oh, he bobbled that.
It looked like a bobble.
Oh, man, they're going to say incomplete.
Yeah, I don't think
got to finish the catch.
I don't think that's going to hold up.
Interception is under further review.
Mentioned Stephen Gilmore's brother, of course, Stephon Gilmore. They're both out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, which is a hotbed of great high school football talent. But Stephen Gilmore was not recruited as highly, a little bit undersized, not as big as big brothers who's still starring in the NFL. But Stephen Gilmore, a lockdown corner, has put together another terrific season. And again, this is all about the bobble. The foot, you know, is in, but the bobble is what might overturn this.
Yeah, and it looked like he picked it clean from our vantage point up here. But then when we see this replay, clearly bobbles it. Man, so close. Like you said, you thought it was just sailing out of bounds.
Yeah.
Gilmore never gave up on it.
And if I'm Zion Turner, I'm having a word with Aaron Turner, my wide receiver, on that play. He gave up on the play.
Say, hey, help me out, man. At least go play defense at anything. I totally agree with you. He's got to help him there, make a play. But as we mentioned, not the biggest guy in the world. So when you think about that, you can't give all that space to a smaller receiver.
So if and when this is overturned, Zion Turner will continue to try to put together his best work of this first half. And we should point out, in the case of Zion Turner, this is a young man. He's a true freshman. He got off to a rocky start, clearly some butterflies. He's a winner now. 3-time state champion quarterback at St. Thomas Aquinas down there in South Florida. If you know anything about St. Thomas, that is a football factory.
That's right.
You don't do that on accident.
No, man.
You're playing in elite high school games week in, week out.
Yep.
So he is a winner. He just had to, again, to use your term, settle down.
Right, and I had the privilege to practice down there, man. We're playing at Clemson.
It was determined that the defender did not maintain possession of the catch throughout. Therefore, it's reversed to an incomplete pass. The ball will be returned to the 39-yard line, where it will be 3rd down.
When Clemson was playing in the Orange Bowl, great factory, like you said. And for him to be able to lead there, man, that's like a small college.
Yes, it certainly is. It preps you as well as anything can for the next level of football. As you see the scoring defense for Marshall, they have been stout all year long, top 10 nationally in virtually every category, including 3rd downs where they're number 1 in all of college football. And UConn hasn't mastered that riddle yet. 0 for 5 on 3rd down, a 3rd and 8 here. Handoff, left side, getting to the edge and banging ahead to the 30. Great run by Rosa. His best effort of the day. Move the chains for the Huskies.
Really good job by the blockers on the left side, getting out in space, creating that edge. You see the big tight end there getting out. And just to read your blocks, make a play, make a guy miss, that extra effort. Very strong run right there.
Mr. Football from the state of Connecticut, Victor Rosa, a true freshman. When he entered camp, he was 5th string. He worked his way from 5th string to the #1 option as a freshman. On 1st down, low snap, Rosa gets it and plows ahead of the 29. That play got off to an inauspicious start. Rosa making the most of it before Beauplan brings him down.
Yeah, you mentioned that, just making a really nice cut to at least try to get something, a couple of inches, if you will. Nowhere to go for the running back.
Mentioned Rosa, the Connecticut Football Player of the Year. The basketball team having a terrific year under Coach Danny Hurley. They've got the Connecticut Basketball Player of the Year, Donovan Clinton. They're both from Bristol. They call themselves the Bristol Boys. Did you have a cool nickname like that when you
I did not, sadly.
We'll workshop one at halftime. 2nd and 9. On the rollout, it's Turner going back near side. Got a convoy past the 30, the 25, inside the 20-yard line. It's a tight end, Justin Jolly again.
Man, you want to see some interesting play design? How about we're going to sprint to the right, throw back left. The patience. This is a blind throw. He has no clue who's out there and just does a really good job getting it out to his playmaker in space. The tight end, Justin Jolly. Man, I'd love to see that.
12-yard pickup for Jolly. 10th play of the drive upcoming for the Huskies. Remember, they missed a field goal on their best drive of the game. And for the most part, the offense has sputtered. What a lift it would be to find pay dirt here. Rosa probing the right side. Bottled up that time. No gain on the play.
Guess who? Owen Porter.
Owen Porter.
Again. I mean, this guy is a heck of a football player. We talked to the coaches and say, what is his best attribute? What does he do well? And they said, you know what? It's his weaknesses. He knows them. He never lets himself get in a bad situation. He never allows himself to be out-leveraged. Not the fastest guy, not the most athletic, but a smart football player that is a technician. And, man, we have seen him on full display all game long.
Came into this game 14 tackles for loss. First team all Sun Belt, Owen Porter. 2nd and long with Burns in the backfield. Again a low snap. Turner going to turn it upfield, tiptoe out of bounds. Picks up about 3. It'll be another 3rd down, 3rd and long. Andre Sam escorts him out of bounds.
Good decision there by Zion. Don't force anything. Pick it up if you can. You saw Porter drop. He went with your tight end, so a lot of open space in front of you. Now you have 3rd and manageable. In the goal line, in the red zone. We talked to Coach before the game. He said, when we get down here, it has to be touchdowns. It can't just be field goals.
Yeah. By the way, that sun is back, and I mean, it is beaming in the right corner of the end zone. I can't even imagine trying to see a football coming at you from that angle. And a timeout called by Marshall. With 1:19 to go in the first half.
Marshall, they're first of the half.
Huskies down
30-second timeout.
21 and threatening on this 11-play, 72-yard drive. Bowl season rolls on Thursday night with the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. Freshman running back Richard Reese leads Baylor against Air Force and their stud back Brad Roberts. Coverage beginning at 7:30 Eastern Time on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. With Tara Talmadge and Eric McLean, I am Mike Morgan. Great to be with you here in the Palmetto State 3rd Annual Myrtle Beach Bowl. It's Marshall out of the Sun Belt versus independent UConn making its first bowl game in 7 years. Now you look at Coach Huff. Charles Huff looking for his first bowl victory as a head coach. Longtime assistant coach. He said Nick Saban is the reason why he's here. Nick Saban said you need to go after that job, and when you visit Huntington, West Virginia, I dare you not to fall in love with the town and the job. Nick Saban was right. 3rd down and 6. Backing up, Turner buying time, rifles one over the middle and through the hands of Cameron Ross. Maybe a little too much hot sauce on it, but Turner identified the open target.
And it was a great job by Turner avoiding pressure, setting his hips down, just a little bit off target again.
Do you like the call here? Looks like they're going to go for it.
At this point, it's 21-0. Listen, you have to do something. You have to give your team a spark, get it going. Let's see if we can get just some passes across the middle, going across a drag route. A little bit of a rollout, extend the play if you can.
Like Jim Moore told us, we need touchdowns, not field goals in the red zone. This will be the 15th play of the drive. Turner has it, end zone, the sunny part of it, and I don't know if the football was ever seen by Marion.
Didn't look like it. Didn't look like the wide receiver tried to make a play on the ball. They're barking back and forth after the play. I'm not sure if there was some contact there, some holding. Obviously a no call. That's what you want, though. That you have one-on-one outside. He's throwing it. It was too high. It wasn't even close, so we thought he couldn't see it. The ball just sailed again.
Yeah.
Zion disappointed in himself.
And again, he's looking right into the sun and that corner of the end zone on the play. Not to make excuses, but that throw was nowhere close. So this has been a frustrating half if you're UConn. You cough it up twice, leading to 14 points. Twice you get in good field position, you miss a field goal, and then you don't even come close on a 4th down conversion inside the 20 on that last drive, which again was the best drive of the day for the Huskies. So you could easily be in a 1-possession game. Instead, you're down 21-0.
And you can't do that against this team. You can't do that against the defense of Marshall, who, man, they take every advantage of it. They're 6th in the country at turnovers gained. These guys are going to put you in adverse situations. So when you have those opportunities, you have to make the most of it. And so the play call was there. It's one high coverage. You have a safety in the middle of the field. You have to give your wide receiver a chance. And the ball sailing 10 yards out of bounds, just that isn't it. So I have to look at myself as a quarterback, say, okay, let's lock in. Let's figure this out. Let's get this momentum going, because one more, and man, this feels insurmountable.
And you need to ask of your defense, the Huskies defense, which overall has played well, incidentally, to not allow a score here in the final minute and 8 seconds of this half. Fancher, straight up the middle on the handoff. It's Laburn. Tara, what do you have?
You know, guys, I got to say, it's a little quiet over here on the UConn sideline. Definitely some disappointed and frustrated players right now. But earlier in the week, Coach Mora told us that, you know, they had a rough start to the season. They went like 1-4, and a lot of the guys were hanging their heads, but they weren't discouraged. They were just disappointed. So it's just about powering through and finishing this game strong.
Yeah, they actually talked about the turnaround for them came in an early loss, but it was a great comeback in the second half. They didn't quit. The attitude remained strong. And then came the upset win over Fresno State. Again, a 10-win team. You beat an ACC squad in Boston College, and you beat a top 20 team at the time in Liberty. So they have shown they can rise to the occasion. They're going to need to do so big time in the second half of this bowl game.
And just understanding it's a long game. We just saw in the NFL a team be down 33 points and come back to win it. So at the end of the day, have that belief, have that confidence. Of course, it starts right here with a minute left if you can stop this offense.
We'll see if Marshall plays conservative. They got Ali in the backfield, and they'll feed him. Trying to run wide. Wrestled down at the 15-yard line. And it looks like Marshall is pretty content with a 21-0 score at the half.
Yeah, you're feeling good. And big Eric Watts there, a defensive end, a very nice-looking prospect, 6'6", 270 at the defensive end position. He's a guy that can make some money for him when he decides to go to the next level. From Sumter, South Carolina, another spot where they play some solid football down there. And just to see his abilities, he's a long guy, he's powerful. Very interesting looking at him going into the NFL.
Their entire starting defensive line, they run a 3-man front, UConn does, all from South Carolina. Sumter, Charleston, and Florence.
It's a good strategy. It's a good strategy.
It's not a bad strategy. Look, you and I have both spent a number of years in the Palmetto State. I was there for 10 years. You're still there in the capital city of Columbia. There is some elite high school talent that comes out of this state.
No, there's no question. Again, such an honor for us to be able to call this bowl game in South Carolina, to see how much it means to the community, to the local folks of the state. Football is king, and there's no question about that.
Can't say enough about the fan support of this game and the job everybody does putting it on. They love their football. They love this bowl game here on the outskirts of Myrtle Beach. On 3rd down and 8. Again, they'll play conservative. And again, UConn is there to answer the bell. So at 45 seconds to go. Huskies are without any timeouts. There's really not much you can do here.
And if I'm Marshall going into this, man, you feel good. You feel really good about your defensive effort, scoring, giving you unbelievable field position to make an easy score early in the game. And you just have to keep it going. You have to put, the pressure on, never let up. Think of the opportunity this is going into this offseason with a massive win here. The excitement, the juice that you get from this game, just got to go out and finish.
There is a 6-second differential, so Marshall's going to have to punt it away here. If you're UConn, you can just sell out, rush 10, and go after a block before the half. It's all really the only move you have with no timeouts.
Timeout. Marshall, their second timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
And one thing to remember, UConn will get the football first in the second half. The Huskies won the toss and deferred, so 21 points, hardly insurmountable. You will get the ball first in the second half if you're the Huskies. As we look at today's clutch delivery, brought to you by Chipotle.
Here's what you want to see. This defense, time and time again, forcing turnovers, getting the ball back for their offense. You want to score some points? Do it yourself, big man up front, reading this screen perfectly. Big man right in the middle settles down. Like I said, looking like a skill player. You got to tuck that ball. That would have been something if he lost it, but the team's celebrating. They're happy. Get that man a Chipotle burrito. Come on.
I'm more of a bowl guy, but you know what?
I am too. I don't know why I said that. I'm disappointed in myself.
It's all right. You'll atone in the second half with the right menu choice, I'm sure. No fair catch. Caught at the 45. And popped out of bounds. That should be the final play of the first half. A first half dominated by Marshall. The UConn defense was strong, but Marshall's defense was just stronger and able to capitalize on a couple of turnovers. 21-0 our halftime score as we send you to the studio with Kevin Connors and Dan Mullen. Guys, take it away.
All right, Mike, sunny skies and that surf turf and a picture-perfect first half for the Thundering Herd inside our college football studios.
All right, here we go. We decided, Kevin, we wanted to squeeze one more play in. The clock was wrong.
They put Mike's contract.
They put 2 seconds back on. Yeah, we don't get paid by the play. So time for a Hail Mary into the end zone. Couple receivers down there, and it'll be a pick. A pick for Abraham Beauplan. So there you have it. That'll be the third turnover on UConn. The score is still 21-0. The Huskies will still get it to start the second half. It's become the Mike Morgan, Kevin Connors show here at the end of the first half. Kevin, I toss it back to you, my friend.
You're watching Capital One Bowl Mania.
Welcome back to the Myrtle Beach Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. From Brooks Stadium here in Conway, South Carolina, not far from beautiful Myrtle Beach. It's the Thundering Herd leading the UConn Huskies 21-0 as we get ready for the start of the third quarter. And we welcome you back inside. He is the former two-time ACC champion from Clemson, Eric McLean. I am Mike Morgan. Great to be with you this Monday afternoon. The score might be a little misleading, Eric, because when you look at it, UConn's defense played strong. And if it wasn't for the 2 turnovers, Marshall might be left with 7, maybe 10 points. Instead, we're looking at a 21-0 game. What do you want to see out of UConn in the second half?
Really just to calm down. You and I talked about that all first half of this quarterback play. Settle in, settle down, hit those easy completions, let that run game be the supplement and get it going there, because if Marshall knows, hey, look, all they're going to do is run the football, they're going to stack the box, they're going to slant those guys right and left, and we're going to continue to see what we've seen all day here.
UConn, of course, is a run-heavy team, and they only averaged a little more than 3 yards a run, a little more than 3 yards a play in that first half. As we look at our first half stats brought to you by Dollar General. And again, if you didn't know any better, you'd say this is a tie ball game. It's not as if there's a huge differential one way or another. The turnovers obviously doing the Huskies in that first half. We'll see if they can clean things up to start the second as we check in with Tara Talmadge.
Huff as he exited the field for halftime and get his take on just how his defense has played so far. Of course, he is impressed, as the rest of us are. He did say, though, that they need to clean up some things in the secondary. And as for the offensive side of the ball, he wants to see the run game pick up a little bit more. He said they've had some errant throws that he's really not impressed with, so he wants to clean that up. And also communication-wise, they've had some difficulties. So that is something that they are working on here in the second half. As for UConn, I had the opportunity to talk with Coach Mora coming back onto the field, and he told his team during halftime that fighting and chipping at each other is not how they play the game. That is not what he wants to see. However, he does want to see these guys battle and respond. Don't tuck your tail and hide. Come out here and battle.
Tara, great stuff. That's what they'll try and do. And again, they have come from behind victories this season, and 3 landmark victories, including wins over Fresno State, Liberty, and Boston College. The drive chart for UConn is not a pretty one. They struggled early. Zion Turner clearly was a little rattled early on, came out of the game for the backup, came back in. You see a whole lot of punts, a lot of 3 and outs, Eric, and that's something they're just going to have to improve on one way or another. Going to have to dial up something different.
Fumble, interception, missed field goal, downs, interception. We have to get some points on the board here. Have to get this first down to feel really good about what we're doing.
Little pistol look on first down with Burns, the deep back. And that's who will get it. He spins and is pressed to the surf turf at the 27-yard line. There has just been very little daylight through the middle for this UConn rushing attack.
Yeah, and Owen Porter again just doing a great job setting the tempo, making big plays time and time again for this Marshall defense. Have to get something going here for UConn. Get out in space, try to throw the football. I know we haven't had great success, but going into the teeth of this defense is not working.
Trips to the far side. That's where the ball will go, and right on target at the 33-yard line. The catch is made by Aaron Turner, their top receiver, who stands just 5'7", but as the coaching staff will tell you, all that kid does is get open. He had a career-high 10 grabs in the win against Liberty. Here we go again, another third down. This has been a problem for the Huskies offense today. Just 1 for 7. Cocking, firing, and incomplete. Threw into some traffic. Ball was dropped. Didn't get any help that time by the receiver. Now it'll be 4th down, and the Huskies will punt it away.
And almost a bracket coverage there. 2 guys defensively in the spot that the quarterback was trying to force the ball there. Turner going to your guy, trying to pick it up. Defense just playing so sound right here as a unit. All 3 levels playing at a very high level.
Gilmore back at the 26 to receive the punt by Caratan, who's probably the MVP for UConn in that first half, and gets off another booming punt. Gilmore has to backpedal all the way to the 20-yard line. But we talked about the quarterback struggles for UConn. Cam Fancher, no such struggles as we look at today's performance update prepared by TaxAct.
And you're just going to see here again, having the patience, throwing to his big weapon there. Wide receiver, put it in space, get it to him, and then get it to your big tight end. Let him do the rest. Put it right in between those numbers. Great job by Cam orchestrating this offense. Need to see that pick up in this second half.
See the numbers on Fancher, the 2 touchdown passes. More importantly, perhaps, avoiding the big mistake in that first half. And of course, he's got a great running game to complement anything through the air. He will go to the air on first down. Little bubble screen, but there's a whole lot of blue jerseys in the area, and that play is stonewalled.
Really like the physicality over there by Malcolm Bell. He had an overwhelmingly bigger wide receiver in Gamage trying to block him, trying to get him out of the way. Bell holds his point, let his team get to the party. Great job there for minimal gain.
Montgomery on the grab, a gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd down and long. Fancher feeds the back. Laburn fires through the hole straight up the gut. And the 6th-year senior picks up 4. It'll set up a 3rd down and manageable. Now UConn defense has been asked to do a lot in this game, and they've come up big on 3rd down. They've held Marshall to just 2 for 8 on 3rd down conversions. It's 3rd and 5.
AA got mubbed. They're backing out.
And it's a direct pitch to Ali. Ali will scoot ahead, and he's right near the marker at the 31. And now a penalty flag in between all the bodies thrown by the umpire near the line of scrimmage. That was actually Ethan Payne who got the direct snap. Well, this becomes a large call, because where they have it marked, I think it's 1st down yardage. Lengthy discussion.
After the play is over, personal foul, late hit with targeting. Number 21, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down. The play is under further review.
That is on Lee Millette, and that's another true freshman defensive back committing a careless penalty. If you're UConn, you just can't afford to make these mistakes if you're going to get back in this game.
And it's tough, man, when they're mounting up, they're adding up. Marshall taking advantage of it.
12:44 to go, third quarter. We'll step aside. Marshall on top, 21-zip. Well, while we were away, they confirmed the targeting. They got the number wrong. It's actually number 6, Ian Swenson. And quite frankly, that makes it a much bigger loss. This is one of the bell cows of this defense and, quite frankly, of this program. You're talking about a 6th-year guy who's been through it all. His father was lost to pancreatic cancer. And, again, this is just an easy call, E-Mac. It's hard to argue with that. He has been ejected from the game. The penalty holds up, and you're going to be without one of your best players the rest of this game.
Yeah, just super unfortunate. Again, a senior, this being his last game, super senior, and just a guy that means so much to this team, to this defense. Sorely going to be missed out there for the rest of this contest.
I mean, he is absolutely heartbroken. It's the fact that he can't be a part of this second half, and all of his teammates were giving him a hug as they knew that was probably going to spell the end of his day. And, of course, his UConn career as a 6th-year senior. Tara, what else do you have?
Yeah, you know, this is a guy who, like you guys said, I mean, he's just one of his teammates. He's someone that they all look up to. He's been here for such a long time, and he has definitely been through the ringer. Prior to this fall, the Huskies had only won 7 games during Swenson's career. So he powered through. He didn't transfer. He stuck around and stuck it out with this program. And you probably saw Coach Mora hugging him and talking to him as he was coming off of the field. This is a guy that Mora told us this team is playing for today.
Yeah, they're going to have to rally without him on the field the rest of the way. On first down, probing the left side is Ali. Rasheen Ali, who last year led the nation with 23 rushing touchdowns, had the MCL injury this year. And you combine him with Labor, the all first-team Sun Belt running back. I mean, it's an incredible 1-2 punch that a lot of college football teams across America would love to have.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. You know, this coaching staff really thought Rasheen was going to be the bell cow, and then, of course, the unfortunate injury. Leyburn just kind of comes out of nowhere and is this revelation. Now that they have both back, very excited, opens up new doors for this offense.
7th play of the drive is another high throw. E.J. Horton can't reel that one in. Fancher, it's been the short routes that he's really struggled with.
Yeah, and I like the read. I like the decision. He saw an opening. He saw, you know, kind of loose coverage there and decided to pull the fake, throw the pass, but he's just off target again.
Another third down opportunity for this UConn defense. Marshall is 3 for 9 on third down. Third and 9, draw play, grinding, plowing ahead, first down yardage by Ali. 10 yards, he needed 9, and he just took a hitting and kept on ticking.
And how nice is that? To not be conservative, to be attacking with the run game here. Really good job keeping your balance, keeping your footwork going in the right direction, leaning forward, getting that big first down. I like seeing the big uglies running in space there as well.
Yeah, I bet you do. Ali, just a sophomore. They believe when it's all said and done, he's got a chance to be one of the best running backs to ever come through this program, and they've had some good ones. Fancher, deep shot down the sideline, step for step, but a little too much contact. Malcolm Bell got a little handsy and did not look back at the football. Bell was shadowing E.J. Horton.
Pass interference, number 14, defense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Mike, I think you're absolutely right. Didn't turn his head around. He's staring at his guys, holding him a little bit there. I think that's why they called it. You like the physicality from both guys, but he just doesn't turn to make a play.
This is what drives fans crazy. It's the most frustrating play in football. You see a defensive back like that, he's got the position. All he has to do is turn around, and it's an easy play,
yes,
right?
Yes, absolutely.
Another critical mistake on this drive. A targeting, now a pass interference on a 3rd and long. It's first down and 10 for the Thundering Herd. Motion man is Montgomery. Fancher keeps it, angling outside to the 5 and dives past the first down marker around the 3-yard line. Boyer Randall was there to shove him out, but a good effort that time by Cam Fancher.
And this is a very similar play to what we saw on the pass touchdown. Good awareness by the tight end there, Miller, to see his quarterback scrambling, turn out into a blocker, allow that extra yardage. UConn making some subs, bringing in a heavier package here down at the goal line.
Marshall lives for these opportunities. Big physical offensive line, 2 physical backs. And they've got a full house backfield here on first and goal. The give, Ali. Ali plunges into the end zone. Touchdown, Marshall.
You mentioned it, partner. Big, strong, ferocious. These guys are lining up in a hurry. Looks like an offensive lineman might be down.
A 10-play, 79-yard drive. And there's also a flag. We got a man down and a flag down.
Result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 95, defense. That's his first unsportsmanlike of the game. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. We will try.
That's on Eric Watts. That's a junior. Right now, UConn is unraveling, Eric. I mean, they've got to be more composed, right?
We're seeing it right before our eyes. I mean, these guys getting frustrated. The chirpiness you saw earlier, and it's just spewing over into the second half here. Look at these big uglies up front, getting good movement, opening up that hole, but a great job accelerating through contact. And then at the end of the play, a little bit chippy. But love this big offensive line. Love the power and the energy from the running back there.
The injured man was Ethan Driscoll, the starting left tackle. He needed help getting off the field, number 52. Hopefully he'll be okay. Meanwhile, Ali doing what he's done all year long, just dominating the ground game. 11 carries, 82 yards. Look at that average, 7.5 yards per carry.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. And now the extra point for Veerhoff, the freshman. Perfect. 28-0 Marshall with 9:51 to go here in the third quarter. UConn needs something good in a hurry here at the 3rd annual Myrtle Beach Bowl. The college football playoff semifinals are Saturday, December the 31st on ESPN and the ESPN app. Number 2 Michigan taking on number 3 TCU. And the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, that will be at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Then it's number 1 Georgia and number 4 Ohio State in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in Atlanta. The winners will play Monday, January the 9th, right here on ESPN. Marshall with an impressive drive to make it 28-0 here in the early going of the third quarter. 9:51 to go. It's been all Thundering Herd thus far. 3 takeaways against the UConn offense, which has sputtered for most of the day. Add that to a missed field goal and a unsuccessful 4th down conversion in the red zone. That took away any scoring opportunity for the Huskies. Mike Morgan, Eric McLean, Tara Talmadge on the sideline. The 3rd annual Myrtle Beach Bowl on a beautiful sun-splashed Monday afternoon here in Conway. The sun is finally setting a little bit, still glaring on parts of the field and in our booth here at Brooks Stadium. It's a good test of the vision here, Emac.
That's right. You got the golden hour going on, man. You look good.
1st and 10 from the 25 as we check in with Tara.
Well, as you guys were able to see, Rasheen Ali is definitely a playmaker for this Marshall offense. And it's interesting because earlier in the season, he was out for most of it. He had a torn MCL and he had surgery on it. He was supposed to be out for 8 to 10 weeks, but Coach Huff didn't really let anyone know that. He said, at the end of the day, I am a Nick Saban disciple. I wanted guys to game plan for Rasheen. Even if he wasn't going to be out there, I wanted to make sure that they spent a little extra time looking over his tape.
Yeah, that is classic Nick Saban. And, of course, he is a Nick Saban disciple and a little bit of gamesmanship. If you worked a Marshall game at all this year, I had him once before, about a month and a half ago, and he wouldn't tell us. I mean, we had no idea what the situation was. Was it an injury? Was it disciplinary? You just did not know. He was not going to tip his hand. And, of course, then he tells us he's back. I can let the cat out of the bag. And, boy, are they glad to have him back for this game.
Yeah, as we're looking at a young man banged up right here, just, whatever he can do to get that competitive advantage. Coach, he's going to do it. This game of football it's hard. It's harder to win. And whatever you can do, whatever you think can help you do that, man, that's what he does. And speaking of things that are difficult, how about playing 50,000 different positions that he did at Hampton? Just unbelievable to see. It says offensive line 2001 to 2005. He played almost every position: running back, fullback, tight end, tackle guard, and then ultimately ended at center, where he was a captain, a leader of this team. And he admitted on our call, Mike, that that's how he knew so much about football. He had to do every position and play it at a high level.
He actually arrived at Hampton about 240, 245. Then it goes up to 255. They put him at tight end. Then it goes up to 265. They put him on the O-line. As you mentioned, he played every spot on the O-line. So he shows his versatility as a player. He didn't really want to be a coordinator. He wanted to be a head coach. Yep. So one of the things he sold people on as he continued to grind from stop to stop to stop, worked under some terrific coaches. He would tell players, look, I've been a walk-on, I've been on the scout team, I've been a special teams player, I've been a backup, I've been a starter, I've been a captain. I've been it all. So whoever you are, I can relate to your situation. And that's part of the magic for Charles Huff and the way he relates to his players.
And that's a powerful thing for a coach to be able to tell you, hey, I've been in that spot, and it actually be true, it actually be accurate. It's a cool thing, and he can relate to these players. He can motivate these men like few can.
Let's see if the Huskies can dial something up good on this drive. On second down, spinning down to the teal turf. That's Brian Bruton. Brian Bruton, another great talent out of St. Thomas Aquinas. He actually was banged up for much of the year. They thought he might be their top tailback. Instead, he got hurt. He was an All-American last year as a return man for the Huskies. But they think in time, he can also really help out the running game. Another third down for the Huskies. Third down and 7. Flushed out Turner. Going to turn it upfield and takes it to the 35. That should be a first down. Charlie Gray on the tackle. The third down conversions were a nightmare before that one. The Huskies were just 1 for 8.
And when you have a quarterback that has that mobility, can get out in space, certainly it helps you. And something that we've seen from Turner in flashes, but if he's going to want to fight back in this game, if they want to extend and have a chance here, you have to dial that up, extend plays to make throws, extend plays, pick it up with your legs. They've got to get it going.
You're almost getting into must-have-it territory. I know there's a lot of time in this game, but if you're the Huskies on offense, you got to get something going here. The run game has not been able to get anything going all game long. Bruton stacked up, dropped for a loss. And that's Watts coming in on the tackle. Anthony Watts from the defensive tackle spot.
Yeah, big man up there, just holding the point, throwing an offensive lineman, then making the play. Doesn't feel good when that happens to you. But when you have those big beasts in the middle, man, you got to keep your feet moving. Didn't happen there. Watts just looked like an absolute animal coming through the line of scrimmage.
UConn has been held to 79 yards rushing in this game. They average over 200. That has been their bread and butter, but it has been taken away from a swarming and stifling Marshall defense, ranking top 10 nationally in virtually every category. Rosa back in at tailback on second down and 11, and a timeout called. It's going to be the Huskies. And we will take it with them. 7:53 to go. Marshall on top, 28-0. One bowl game today. We're happy to have you with you. We hope you'll be back with ESPN and the family of networks tomorrow. Keep on bowling with 2 more games on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the app. How about Eastern Michigan taking on San Jose State in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl at Albertson Stadium at 3:30. And that'll be Liberty Toledo and the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl. That'll be at 7:30 Eastern Time. On second down and long. Clean pocket, but instead Turner's going to run out of it. He had more time and instead will take it to the 39-yard line. Emac, I thought if Turner settles in there, he can buy a little more time in the pocket.
That's what I'd like to see, for him to just kind of subtly move. You don't have to necessarily take off, but he's a young quarterback, true freshman here, learning these flag on the play.
Well, after the play was over, we've seen too many of these for the Huskies.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 5, defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Those cheers you hear from the Husky fans, for obvious reasons, you like the 15 yards. I think they feel like they've gotten the short end of the stick on some of these personal foul penalties.
Well, it's interesting where he threw the flag from, for starters. I don't know if someone signaled to him, hey, throw that up there. But yeah, I mean, getting a little chippy here, some contact after the play, a little discussion. Refs are going to make sure they keep control of this thing. Best believe that.
Well, we go back to what we said at the very top. There is no lack of motivation for any player on the field in this game. Everybody is all in, and they desperately want to end the season on a high note with a victory here in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. From the 46 of the Thundering Herd, it's Turner out of the gun. The handoff, and again, just nowhere to run if you're Victor Rosa.
I've got to tell you, I've been very impressed with Andre Sam, the physicality that we've seen from him, coming on corner blitzes, being in kind of that nickel Sam look at times, if you will, playing the high safety all over the field. But he is relentless, man, with his pursuit, his attack. When they send him, man, he comes in with authority.
And they are ultra aggressive on that defense, led by the coordinator, Lance Guidry. That was one of the first moves that Coach Payne made. He wanted a star DC, and he got Lance Guidry, who's a former head coach at McNeese State, former 4-year starter and 2-time captain defensive back as a player. Lance Guidry, they got a gem in that role.
Timeout. UConn, their second timeout of the game. This will be a 30-second timeout.
So some trouble getting everything settled for the Huskies there. With 6:30 to go, and Marshall leading at 28-0. You know, I mentioned how Jim Mora got the job, because I remember when that thing came on the ticker, I said, that can't be right.
Said, huh? Who?
That Jim Mora. Jim Mora was out of football. He coached UCLA for 6 years, did some good things there, took him to a Pac-12 championship game. Of course, 2 NFL spots with Seattle and Atlanta. He said him and his wife are in Italy. They're on vacation from their home back in Sun Valley, Idaho. The AD, David Benedict, says, I got to talk to you. So they're together for 5 days. And eventually he says, I want to take you to our game at Clemson to seal the deal. So on day 5, they go to a game at Death Valley. That's when the contract was offered. That's when it was received. When we asked Jim Mora, had he ever even been to the campus before, he said once. In 2019, when he was an analyst with us at ESPN, he actually worked the game and fell in love with the campus and the town. So it just goes to show you the universal power when Steve Ackles puts your name on the grid.
Come on, Steve.
Good things follow. It's a matter of fact. Pass over the middle, heavy traffic. I mean, there's 2 Marshall defenders right there, and Zion Turner is extremely fortunate to not have that one picked off.
Yeah, he had guys just absolutely screaming down the middle of the performance there as you see the blitz. There comes Gray, there comes 7. Bow! Just a really good shot there. If that's in the NFL, you're probably going to jail for doing that to a quarterback. But in college, it's free game.
Yeah, it's Abraham Beauplan, who's, again, and pick your weapons. Marshall's got him everywhere. He's an outside linebacker with 62 tackles. Eli Neal, the middle linebacker, came into this game with 88 tackles. Owen Porter's all over the place. And they got 2 shutdown corners. 3rd and long. Little bubble screen. Shake and bake at the 45. Breaking free. It's Marion. Down the sideline and out of bounds inside the 15. Biggest pass play of the day for the Huskies.
Man, just getting your guy out in space. Let's use our weapons as you see Marion there. Again, the speed was evident. Let's just stow it up there. Get it out to our guy. Easy throw, big offensive line. Get out in front, hat on a hat. And you see the explosiveness there, hitting the hole with authority.
31 yards for Marion, who got hurt early on in the season. He barely played, but the coaching staff told us point blank, a healthy Keelan Marion, number 1 in blue, is our best wide receiver, and he showed some of that skill there. first down. Rosa reversing field, cuts at the 10. Rosa, touchdown! Victor Rosa with his 10th scoring touchdown of the year, and the Huskies are on the board. He showed some shiftiness right here, Eric McLean.
Man, I'd love to see that. First, you're hitting this thing. You're trying to go in the backside A gap. He said, hey, that's not where the hole is. As you see it right here. Actually goes frontside C and bounces all the way back. Great vision. The cut at the end, and then you see the breakaway speed. Man, that is a good-looking running back. And when he has space, when he has time, he can make good things happen for your offense.
Ruiz hammers home the extra point. Jim Mora not cracking a smile yet, but that's got to feel like a 10,000-pound weight was lifted off his shoulders and the rest of this UConn offense.
You see again the decision making, sees the outside, little stutter step, a little sauce, gets into the end zone. Very impressive play there in space. Athlete on athlete. 22 said, I'm good for 6.
Had 2 touchdowns in the win against Liberty. Had a career high 111 yards against Army. It's in there, but in all fairness to Victor Rosa, Devontae Houston, Robert Burns, whoever has toted the rock for the Huskies, there haven't been many holes there. He had to just create some daylight.
Yeah, there's no question about it, but that's what the beauty of kind of that outside zone is. When you're stretching that play where everybody is kind of running to the right, there's cutback lanes, and that's exactly what Rosa saw there. The patience, the vision, and then the breakaway speed.
9 plays, 75-yard drive, 4 minutes, 16 seconds off the clock. Capped off by the 14-yard score by the true freshman out of Bristol, Connecticut, Victor Rosa. Remember, Rosa, he didn't get to play a single down of high school football his junior year because of COVID. So he had to just train with his coach while there was no football season, get ready for that all-important senior campaign and the recruiting process. This is Harrison on the return for Marshall, and he's going to be stopped short of the 20-yard line. And another flag.
During the return, holding number 30, return team, 10-yard penalty, first down Marshall.
Let's check in with Tara.
Well, I had the chance to talk with Coach Moore at halftime a little bit about how his guys were playing, and he said that he thought that they were playing a little tight, in particular Turner, and that is why he was pulled at quarterback for a little bit. He said it wasn't a punishment at all. He just wanted to give him a breather and then get back out there and compose himself and play a little bit more free, which I think we're seeing right here.
No question, Tara, and I think that's a coach understanding his players, a coach realizing something had to mix up, but that doesn't mean you give up on it.
Right, and that's just the quarterback position. There can only be, most of the time, one on the field at a time, unless you're doing a trick play there, and you just have to have those moments. We've seen it throughout this season. Various teams, they'll take a quarterback out, sit him down, let him assess the situation, kind of breathe, then go back in there and win this a football game, try to get us back in this thing.
So how important does this drive become for the UConn defense to try to keep Uncle Mo, the momentum, going here in the third quarter?
No, there's no question about that. Can we create a stop? Can we create a turnover? Anything for field advantage, trying to get in favor of UConn.
Fancher out of the gun on second down with Laburn behind him. Feeds his bruising tailback, which keeps the legs churning, and finally stopped at the 19-yard line, a yard short of a first down. Huskies players on the bench to a man trying to implore this crowd to get up and implore their team on the field to get a stop here. Many have made the trip from Storrs, Connecticut to watch their Huskies try to pick up their first bowl win in 12 years. On third and short, Fancher keeps. Fancher finding a crease and got just enough. No, it's Ethan Payne, rather. Ethan Payne took the direct snap. That's the second time he's done that in this game.
It was a good call because it worked. Other than that, I'd love to see that just in between the tackles. Get it to your guys. But, hey, you feel good about it, getting out in space. Just enough by the skin of his fingernail. He picks up the first down.
So a fresh set of downs for Marshall. Under 4 minutes to go. Third quarter to play. See if the Huskies have another stop in them here in this third quarter. They'll keep it on the ground on first down. Little juke and move out to the 23-yard line by Labor. That's Marquez Bembry on the tackle, number 11. He is a terrific story. A long road to Storrs, Connecticut. He was at Kentucky, part of 3 bowl victories for the Wildcats. And it just didn't work out there. Then he had some injuries, some academic challenges. He goes to JUCO. Then he winds up at Connecticut. And Coach Morris said, I had to tell him, you're not walking on. We've got a scholarship for you. You're covered. You got a full ride, young man. So happy to have that. He was humbled a bit when he went in the portal. Most of the offers were FCS, but he has found a home with UConn. On second down, from the pocket, little rainbow ball, and almost picked off in and out of the hands of Trey Wortham, who's their top corner with 4 interceptions on the year. Couldn't have had better coverage on the play and almost had the pick.
Yeah, and I like they're letting them play. A little physicality here by both receiver and defensive back. Would have been a spectacular interception there by Wortham. And now you're in 3rd and long if you're Marshall. Now you're in a decision where your Cam has to throw the ball downfield. Haven't had great success with that today. Look for him to go to 7. Gamage, his big wide receiver.
Cam has struggled with accuracy, just 9 for 18. A 3rd down and 9. They're going to try and run it wide, and it's completely devoured by that UConn defensive line, number 95, Eric Watts on the stop.
And what you're telling me right here is you trust your defense. You trust that, hey, let's play the field position game. We're up 21 points, 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Let's try to flip this field here, get our defense back rolling.
I'm going to tell you, you and I during the commercial break, we were kind of eavesdropping. We've got a microphone down there. We could hear Jim Mora addressing his squad during that last time out. What he said fired me up. Certainly fired up UConn here in the last couple of drives, and now a pre-snap penalty.
False start, number 30, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
I'm used to that type of strong tongue lashing that you give me when we're not here in the booth, Eric, and you sometimes bring me to tears, but I appreciate the tough love.
That's a lie. You need to tell them that's a lie.
Tough love from the mayor. It does. It gets me juiced, man. You get me fired up. You're an offensive lineman. I'm more like a scat back. A wobbler for the punt. And it goes right out of bounds. Not a good punt at all. It'll be terrific field position and plus territory for the Huskies, who have life. Late 3rd quarter, down 3 scores with the football. And 1:56 to go in the 3rd quarter. Sometimes you got a lot of players who have never played in the bowl game. It takes a while to really get the feel and a comfort level. UConn did not have that in the first half. They've had it here late 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and it's been a tale of 2 halves here for UConn. How can they build on this? How can they take that momentum from walking down the field, scoring a touchdown, to now starting with unbelievable field position? I think Marshall thought that they were going to be able to flip this field. As you see, that is not the case. About a 20-yard punt here. Great opportunity for UConn. Can they do enough to get it done right here?
Best starting field position of this game for the Huskies from the 40-yard line of Marshall. Turner, the true freshman from St. Thomas Aquinas in Florida, gets the snap, handoff, and again, just absolutely blown up in the backfield. Bruton met by a host of white jerseys, including Elijah Alston, number 2.
This defensive front has just been so impressive for Marshall all day long. These guys are slanting. I talk about how difficult that is. That's a tight end in there trying to block a werewolf, trying to block a defensive end. Not going to have great success doing that.
There you get a look at Lance Guidry, defensive coordinator. That's 7 tackles for loss, incidentally. 7 tackles for loss for Marshall. Low snap again. Turner scoops it up and throws underneath, complete at the 35. And lasso down inside the 30. First down yardage for Cameron Ross. Eli Neal on the tackle, but not before a pickup of 12 yards. You could just see the confidence brewing for the freshman quarterback Zion Turner.
I can't stress enough how important completions are. When you can see your receivers making a catch, man, you start getting confidence. You start doing big things right here. Heavy power set. Got big fullback in Burns here. Watch the play action.
A staggered eye look. First down carry. Rosa breaking one tackle and then lassoed at the 25 by Andre Sam. Otherwise, he might still be running. He's got a burst. Victor Rosa was a track guy in high school back in Bristol. A really great overall athlete, Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Connecticut. Again, when he arrived on campus, he started off fall camp 5th string, but injuries, opportunities, and production moved him to the top of the charts.
At the end of the day, when you see this young man's ability, that stutter step, that explosion that he can have right at the hole, man, it's impressive to watch from such a young guy.
Final play of the quarter. It's going to be Rosa again, probing the left side, breaks a tackle at the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Huskies! A 24-yard gallop for the true freshman Victor Rosa, his second score, and what a way to put an end to quarter number 3. A 4-play, 40-yard drive.
How impressive from this young man. Outside zone, just being patient, letting his big offensive lineman get out in front, and then he sees the hole, accelerates through there. A little track celebration. You called it, partner, and he hit it.
And he didn't just break a tackle, he broke a tackle of Eli Neal, who's a tackling machine for Marshall. The extra point is true, but a penalty flag. You didn't think we were going to go a whole 3 or 4 plays without a flag.
We couldn't do that, could we?
No, that's against protocol here today. And we'll clean up the laundry and see what this is about. Offsides on Marshall.
Result of the kick is no good. Offside, defense, penalties enforced half the distance to the goal. We'll retry the down.
All right, so let's reset that. That extra point was missed, but you're going to get a reprieve because there's an offsides penalty on Marshall. Rulis, who already missed a field goal earlier in this game, misfires on an extra point. It's the 8th penalty, incidentally, on Marshall. Rulis on the season, perfect. 27 for 27 on extra points. Snap and hold are true, and this one is good, and there is 0 flags on the field.
Victor Rosa just really showing the patience on that outside zone. He's going to wait his offensive line, get out in front, and then the explosion. He does the rest. Look out. Here comes UConn.
Welcome back to the Myrtle Beach Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Here from Brooks Stadium in Conway, South Carolina, not far from the dunes and the Grand Strand. UConn making things interesting here. That's Jim Moore. You don't coach for 31 years and hit the panic button when you're down 28-0. You keep your calm. You keep your poise. You fire up your team. You challenge their will, their heart. And so far, it's worked to the tune of back-to-back touchdowns. We got a 2-score game, Emac.
Man, what a cool moment for him just to be super jacked up for his team, exciting for his guys. And man, to fight right here, this is what you want. 4th quarter, all you need is a chance.
Return out to the 25.5-yard line. Tara, what do you see on the sideline?
Well, I got to say, it's a little more lively now than it has been pretty much the entire game. But when Victor Rosa walked over, he just came back, sat on the bench, kept his head down. He was quiet. But, of course, his teammates were all around him, slapping his helmet, telling him, one more, man. You got to give us one more. And so we'll see if he can do it.
That's a bad boy right there.
Hey, he looks like a Boy Scout, but he's been an assassin here in this second half. Temperatures have dropped from 50 to 40. The Huskies defense has heated up, and they'll try to put together another stop here. Instead, that might be offsides. Could be a free play for Fancher. Throws up a jump ball, and it's hauled in by Gamage. Gammage, the top target at 6'4", just won the jump ball. If it stands, it's 34 yards.
Offside, number 97, defense. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Jelani Stafford could not help himself.
Yeah, and this is just a great heads-up play by the wide receiver and the quarterback. Listen, you know that was a free play. Throw it up. Nothing bad can happen from this, only good. And that's exactly what happened here. Gammage, too big, too strong, massive play.
Yeah, that's the right target for a 50-50 ball, which is exactly what that turned out to be. Now in plus territory, Marshall trying to get back in the scoring column, weaving his way through some traffic and picking up a few yards is Ali.
Marshall really utilizing this stretch zone here, hoping that a natural cutback lane is going to open up. UConn doing a good job on the backside, being patient, not allowing these massive pickups that we've seen from Marshall throughout this season.
Ali in the backfield on second down. Fancher, clean pocket, delivers a strike, picked off! Huskies on the interception! Malik Dixon-Williams, just his second pick of the year.
What a play by the defender there, Dixon-Williams. It's a long over route there, and it's just underthrown. Williams does a great job there, going under the wide receiver, making the big-time play. What an opportunity. You talk about momentum, you don't think that's real? Look what we're seeing right now from UConn.
I mean, UConn is just firing on all cylinders. Other than the free play on the penalty, everything has been going the way of the Huskies. And I have to wonder, if you're Marshall and you're one of the best rushing teams out there, why are you going for that play through the air? Reversing field and just trying to make something out of nothing and finding some daylight. Here comes Ross. How in the world did Cameron Ross do that? 9 yards out of a busted play that looked like it was going the wrong direction.
Man, that was impressive. Look, we're trying to go to the right there to get it to our big running back, get him out in space. It's a two-sided screen. Just throw it to your playmaker, let him make it happen. Cameron Ross runs about 60 yards to pick up 9.
That might be the longest 9-yard play of his career. A little more left to right than north-south, but he'll take it, and he'll take a breather as well. Second down of the yard, 13 minutes to go, a 2-score game here at the 3rd annual Myrtle Beach Bowl. Mike Morgan, Eric McLean, Tara Talmadge. Turner out of the shotgun with trips to the near side. It's going to be Rosa on the carry, breaking free, and Rosa is wrapped up out of bounds past the 40-yard line. Sam might have saved a score. A 15-yard gallop for the freshman.
This young man is on fire. Again, the stretch zone. Both these teams running essentially the same play. We are seeing Victor Rosa get better, get stronger, get faster as this game is going on. What a weapon he has been for his team.
14 carries, 72 yards, 2 touchdowns for the true freshman from Bristol, Connecticut. He'll get a breather. Bruton checks in. It's 1st and 10 with the Huskies on the move. The Huskies crowd coming alive. They call it Husky Revolution. That's what they're trying to get going under Coach Mora. Bruton takes a brutal hit and knocked backwards to the teal turf.
Yeah, guess who? Owen Porter saying, don't forget about me. It's like another penalty. We win a couple plays there, partner. We had to get it back.
We had a few. We had a few. And now we're back to the laundry zone.
Personal foul, face mask, number 89, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That is on Damian Barber. You might recall he had the pick 6. He is irate on the sideline. Just threw his helmet to the ground. As a critical 15-yard automatic first down penalty. And the Huskies can smell blood in the water right now.
Man, we are seeing a tale of two halves right now. I mean, it's like the team that was doing so well in the first half changed uniforms, and now they're wearing UConn blue. The mistakes that Marshall is making is what we saw from Connecticut in the first half here. This has been a drastic change. Love to be in that locker room at halftime.
Oh, absolutely. Bruton alone back on first down. Turner fakes it to him, looking downfield, plenty of time, deep over the middle, and contact incomplete.
That's a miss right there, partner.
Marion wanted the flag on Stephen Gilmore. There definitely was contact. We'll have to take another look.
UConn fans are going to be sick. Looked like it could have been a holding, first of all. So Marshall's feeling a little bit like this is an even play here, but watch at the end of this thing. There's your holding right up front, even a high-low if you want.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct. UConn's head coach, his first unsportsmanlike of the game. 15-yard penalty, the down counts, second down.
Well, that is a brutal double whammy. A missed call on the interference, and then Jim Mora gets a personal foul penalty on the sideline.
You mentioned it earlier. He was getting after those officials. He wanted them to call the game fair. He felt like that wasn't happening. Looks like he went a little bit too far right here. And we know how he is. We know he's respectful. He wasn't cussing anybody out, but maybe it was just too much. What is true, a blatant missed call. Pass interference. I mean, that was a touchdown.
Yeah, we could eavesdrop in here during one of the breaks. He was asking one of the officials, what conference are you from? He was trying to get some intel. Boy, that is just a absolute complete change of momentum there. Now 2nd and 25. Again with time. Now going down, bottled up for a sack. Turner finally ran out of time and ran out of room. That's big number 5, Tyquez legs on the sack.
We're seeing this young man, a true freshman, handle these adverse situations like a true freshman. He has to figure that out. That internal clock, hey, I have to go. I have to move somewhere, and it can't just be straight into the defenders. You got to get out of the pocket, extend that play.
Now 3rd down and a cheap Uber ride here in the Palmetto State. I don't know what you dial up here. Turner, clean pocket, missiles one, complete, breaking a tackle and down to the 40. That'll get a lot of the yardage back. It's Aaron Turner on the reception, and now you're in that in-between zone.
You're in a little bit of no man's land here. You could see a quarterback punt to really try to get them off from their kilter there, get it down low, or you go for it. You take a shot here. You got 4th and about 8. What can you do? What playmaker can you try to get the ball as Aaron Turner, their best wide receiver, runs off the field, and 22 splits out wide.
4th and 8, out of field goal range. Too close to punt, down 2 scores. They'll go for it here. Empty backfield for Zion Turner. Whistles and a penalty flag. This play has been blown dead, but it's so loud in here, Turner couldn't hear it, and neither could the Marshall defenders.
It's big right here.
Well, you're not lying. This is a huge call one way or another.
Offside, number 1. Wow. Offense. He's lined up across the ball. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
That's on Marion. That's just one of those mental errors that you cannot afford to have in that spot.
And to me, this makes it easy. You punt this football. They're still going for it, but man, your defense is playing so well. 10 minutes, it's still kind of that in-between.
Yeah, you get a chance to pin them inside the 10.
Yeah, I don't know if I love this decision.
You're asking a lot out of Zion Turner and this Huskies offense. But they will go. Rosa flanked to his right. Turner gets the snap. With time. Deep shot. Down the seam. And incomplete. Gilmore on the coverage, and that time it was outstanding. No interference there. That was just great coverage by Stephen Gilmore, the senior out of Rock Hill.
Yeah, Gilmore just doing a really good job being in phase, step for step with his wide receiver, and you saw a great defensive play. I mean, this is a big-time opportunity here, and there you see it. Great job by the defense. A little bit of momentum stuttered here. Marshall gets the ball back.
The Myrtle Beach Bowl is brought to you by MyrtleBeach.com. Find where you belong at the beach. And TaxAct. File for less and get more.
With Tara Talmadge on the sideline, Eric McLean here in the booth, Mike Morgan, glad to be with you for what is now a Monday evening on the East Coast, third annual Myrtle Beach Bowl. Things have gotten awfully exciting here in the last few minutes. It was 28-0. It's now 28-14, and UConn with a very legitimate gripe on that last drive. The biggest play winds up being a no call. How is this not interference?
Yeah, there's no way that it's not. I mean, it's just a blatant miss and a massive play in the game here. I hate that they didn't call it. I hate even more that they assessed Coach Moore with a penalty.
Right.
He has every right to be upset right there.
Now you're really going to test the will of this UConn defense, which I would say overall has been outstanding. If you just tuned in, you say 28 points. Most of those have come off turnovers by the Huskies offense. The UConn defense has done their job in this game tonight.
And they played at a very high level. You're talking about giving the other team points with a pick on a screenplay, and then the first offensive snap of the game for UConn. Try to be too cute, do a pitch, give them great field position. This UConn team really has to step up tall here, third medium.
Marshall 5 for 12 on third down. Under 9 minutes to play. Fancher, handoff, left side. Not this time. Brought backwards. And Jackson Mitchell, who has been a tackling machine during his time with the Huskies, 133 stops coming in, makes a huge one there.
I have been waiting and waiting for Jackson Mitchell to make his presence known. Very fitting that it's on one of the biggest plays of the game for this defense. This young man flies around the tape, around the field, around the film. Anytime you put this on, you're going to see number 8 making all kinds of plays.
Jim Mora compares him to Eric Hendricks, now with the Vikings, a Pro Bowl linebacker who he coached at UCLA. A little bit of pressure on the punt. Back to receive on the fair catch is Ross. And the Huskies will take over from their own 20-yard line. Should be an action-packed 8 minutes and 10 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Can't say enough about the effort and the play by both these teams in this game. 28-14. It'll come down to the final 8 minutes and 10 seconds. Mike Morgan with Eric McLean and Tara Talmadge on the sideline. The Huskies trailed this game 28-0. Offense couldn't do anything right. Turnovers were a problem. But UConn, when they look down and out, put together a run. They've scored touchdowns on 2 of the last 3 drives, and this guy's got both of them. The freshman tailback Victor Rosa. It's been a steady diet at number 22, and we'll see if that continues. But again, you got 2 scores that you need. There's plenty of time, but you got to be a little bit anxious, right?
No, there's no question about it. You're trying to go quick without being in a hurry, and at the end of the day, a mistake absolutely ruins your chances here. Big time setting for both freshmen in the backfield.
Bubble screen, breaking tackles, and out to the 29 is Aaron Turner, who plays a lot tougher than his 5'7", 178-pound frame would indicate. And a penalty flag on the teal turf again. I believe this came after the play. We've had several of those in this game.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 24, defense, 15-yard penalty, results in an automatic first down. That's number 24's first unsportsmanlike of the game.
Oh, that is on the man that the coaching staff calls the voice, Eli Neal, the junior linebacker out of Memphis.
Really uncharacteristic there by the leader, by the guy you expect everything out. And man, putting his defense in a tough spot right here, field position-wise.
It has been chippy really this entire game. There's no lack of intensity for any player on the field at this Myrtle Beach Bowl, that's for sure. Rosa runs into a brick wall near the line of scrimmage. Eli Neal trying to atone for the penalty with another tackle.
And really, UConn, I mean, they're making it simple, for their team here. Wherever they line up, however they want to do it, it's been stretch left, stretch right, outside zone left, outside zone right. Keep giving it to Rosa here.
Oh, another low snap. Turner tracks it down, running backwards. Fran Tarkenton-like effort, and it's caught! Oh no, then he dropped it. Marion had it at the 45. It would have been the most exciting 1-yard gain that we've seen all year. How in the world does that not get picked off?
Mike, I'm going to be real with you for a second. That's the worst decision I've ever seen in my life by a quarterback to make. I understand he's a young guy. I understand he's trying to make a play. But you either take that sack or you throw the ball out of bounds. And at that point, man, you just have to eat it. That was a very, very true freshman play. Very lucky that it wasn't a pick six.
That might work back at St. Thomas in the 7A playoffs, the state of Florida. But that's a real dangerous play here in a bowl game. 3rd and 10. From a clean pocket, deep ball, down the far sideline, contact, and there is the flag. I mean, Husky Nation was about to have a conniption if they don't get that call. It's Turner, the intended target, and it's Sam on the interference.
I'm not sure what took so long.
Pass interference, number 20, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And it's not a makeup call. It's another pass interference, and they called it this time. And look at this ball. It hangs up there. Great throw. And he's just all over him. I mean, he's not trying to make a play on the ball. He's holding him. He's pushing him. I see at the end of the play, I see him raising his hands. Quarterback takes a little shot.
Yeah. That's Cumberlander, 5th-year senior. 19 career sacks for Cumberlander, and he almost had another one. Again, a 15-yard penalty, not a spot foul in college, so you're at the 41 of the Thundering Herd. Turner, again clean pocket, and finds a man at the 45. Down to the 20. Bursting inside the 10-yard line is Aaron Turner.
Look at that speed. Man, I've kind of been sitting here scratching my head thinking, hey, what are we doing? Why does Turner not have more targets here? Well, now he does in a crossing route. You see the track speed, the acceleration, and a little bit of tempo here from UConn as they're ready to roll.
37-yard reception for the sophomore. It's going to be Rosa reversing field. Nothing there, and a penalty flag in the backfield in the area of holding.
Holding, number 83, offense, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Now, on top of everything else, Zion Turner is hobbling back to the huddle. I mean, he's got a noticeable limp. And just trying to tough this one out, but he's taking some shots here. There you see he's favoring that left leg. Now, it's still 1st and goal, but now you back it up all the way to the 18-yard line. Burns the lone back on first down. Little pitch play to Burns, trying to find daylight. Stonewalled, loss on the play. Marshall just knifing in, led by number 7, Abraham Beauplan.
Yeah, an obvious pain right here as you see, trying to get leverage, trying to get outside. Great job by the defense, staying patient. We see again at the bottom of your screen here, Millen back in, backup quarterback. Watch for another trick play towards the bottom of your screen. He's going in motion.
Field goal does you no good. We're looking at 4-down territory here. This is 2nd and goal. Buying time and throwing that one out of bounds. A wise play by Turner. There's nobody open on the play. So you have 2 downs to get 20 yards, and you kind of feel like it's ball game if you don't.
Absolutely. You have to be aggressive here. You have to take your shots. If you want to get half of this, I understand that, but there's a lot more room right now at the 20-yard line to run different concepts. Ones that you like, try to stretch the field. Kind of a Where's Waldo right now. Aaron Turner on the hash at the bottom of your screen.
That's right, working the slot there, number 5 in blue. Trips to the near side and a 4-wide set. Marshall rushing 4. Turner flushed out to the right. Looking downfield, nobody is open. Turner throws it up for grabs, and that'll be a pick. Just a force, nobody was open. Desperation play, and the interception by Micah Abraham. Micah Abraham, whose father Donnie is in attendance for this game. Donnie had 38 career picks in the NFL. Micah, a chip off the old block. Another pick here, 8 in his career.
The number 6 team in the country at forcing turnovers. Guess what? The biggest one they can get. Picking off the quarterback. Consulting his QB. Marshall gets the ball back.
Coming up on Monday Night Countdown, we're going to tell you how these players are going to stay warm for 3.5 hours in frozen Lambeau Field. Now back to you guys in sunny Myrtle Beach.
Booger and Alex looking forward to it. It was sunny a while ago. The sun has kind of faded. The action is heated up, that's for sure. Looking forward to that game tonight. Looking forward to Monday Night Countdown that follows us here on ESPN. And then it'll be the Rams and the Packers with Eric McLean, Tara Talbot, John Mike Morgan. Been a fun Myrtle Beach Bowl. It was 28-0. It's now 28-14. But time is on the side of the Thundering Herd, who will try and bleed clock here on perhaps a final drive for Marshall. Fancher has struggled at times, but one thing that travels well and has been ultra consistent all year long, that Marshall ground game with Layburn and Ali. Charles Huff looking for his first bowl victory in his second year as the head coach of Marshall. Worked with Nick Saban, James Franklin, Chan Gailey, among others. I mean, it's a heck of a coaching tree for that man who says he picked up something from every coach he's worked for. He gained knowledge in how to structure and run a program from all of those individuals. And again, Nick Saban, when the Marshall job came open, told him, you need to take that job. You need to visit. You will fall in love with it. You will fall in love with the town, the people, and the program. He said, all right, I'll give it a shot. They offered him the job, and Charles Huff, a welcome addition to a program with great tradition, great fan base, so much history. And now in the first year in the Sun Belt, I think the sky's the limit for Marshall, because the Sun Belt as a league is going places, folks. I mean, it might turn out to be the best group of 5 conference, and Marshall's going to be competing in that year in, year out. Play clock down to 1. And firing through the hole on the right side is Layburn. Fans tune into ESPN and the ESPN app for the Capital One postgame immediately following the game. Approaching 3 minutes to go here in Conway, South Carolina. A 28-14 Marshall lead. Marshall has made it to 6 consecutive bowl games. And again for UConn, the first one in 7 years. Jim Mora doing a remarkable job in year 1 with this program. Tackle for loss on the play. The Huskies are left with just 1 timeout. Do you burn it here? It looks like they will, with 2:43 to go on the clock. See some of the bowl games coming up in the next few days, and we will see the final 2:43 when we come back. 28-14. Marshall trying to ice this one. Our Week 15 Monday Night Football matchup has Aaron Rodgers and the Packers hosting Baker Mayfield. And the Rams at Lambeau Field, with both teams in a virtual must-win playoff scenario. That will be 8 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN and ABC, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. The Manning Cast is back on ESPN2. Our coverage beginning with Monday Night Countdown. That'll be right after we're done here. We'll send you right from South Carolina to Monday Night Countdown and get you set for a big-time Monday Night Football matchup. Ali trucking defenders, moving the chains, and that will just about put an exclamation point on a bowl game victory for the Marshall Thundering Herd.
And this is exactly what you wanted to see as we have a player down behind the line of scrimmage here from this offense and the way to end a game. When you look at Coach Huff and the confidence that he instills, the culture that he has brought to this program, man, you get the ball with 5 minutes left, we're not giving it back to him. We run the football. We have a big offensive line up front. Let's lean on those guys. Let's use our experience back in Layburn and Ali, and let's go. I mean, that was one of my biggest joys as an offensive lineman, as a player, just being able to never give the team the ball back and to keep it going, and just to see the explosiveness, the patience, find the hole, whatever you have to do from this young man as he gets out in space, and you see the natural abilities. I mean, can you imagine what this offense would look like with Layburn, with Ali for an entire season? Luckily enough for us, we got to see it for 2 games to finish out the season here.
He's been terrific, and he is part of tonight's Capital One Player of the Game. 15 rushes, 92 yards, over 6 yards a carry when they needed a big run. 22, Rasheen Ali was there to answer the challenge. And, you know, in addition to everything else, the injuries, and then you find out they bring in a former 5-star recruit in Layburn. You're thinking, well, when I come back, am I going to have to share carries? Right. He's been completely unselfish, goes to your point on the culture instilled by Charles Huff. And the way they win games is very reminiscent of the early Nick Saban teams at Alabama. A lot of ground and pound, not a ton of passing. That's where he gets his philosophy from.
Yeah, and I'll even take it one step further with Ali. You talk about that respect. You talk about that mutual, love that they have for one another. He was a great player last week. Got over 100 yards, was the star of the game. He declined to do interviews. He wanted his guy, Layburn, to have that attention that he deserved all year long. Respectedly so, Rasheen's going to be the MVP of this game tonight.
Been a heck of a thunder and lightning combo. Although they both feel like they bring a lot of thunder. I mean, they're both physical running backs behind that massive offensive line for Marshall. Can't say enough about the Huskies defensively and their efforts, particularly when the offense kept putting them behind the 8 ball with turnovers and field position. For the most part, they kept Marshall's passing attack completely in check, and at times they kept UConn in this game almost by themselves.
The ability that they had, the grit, the fight, the effort. Man, we saw Coach Moore getting fired up on the sideline, and that just oozed over to his team. Got to give him credit for never quitting.
Final 95 seconds. The Myrtle Beach Bowl, the 3rd of its kind. Marshall about to pick up its 9th win of the season. Breaking tackles, moving the pile.
Come on.
And stopped at the 45-yard line is Layburn. The annual NBA on Christmas Day tradition continues. How about a quintuple header? It all starts on ESPN and ABC. Sixers, Knicks, Lakers, Mavs, Bucks, Celtics, Grizzlies, Warriors, and then Suns, Nuggets caps the night every year. Some of the association's best matchup. What a great day to spend your Christmas day and night. It's gotten chilly, but not cold enough perhaps for a Gatorade bath on Charles Huff. We'll see if maybe the second-year head coach from Marshall.
What color is it? Orange? Purple?
Might be green the way Marshall does things. That should do it. That should be the final play.
There it is. Look at him.
Fired up.
Come on, Huff Dog. Let's go, baby.
The former tackle, center, guard, fullback, special teamer.
You know what we call that? Football player,
That's
baby.
right.
Come on. There it comes.
And there she goes.
Is that water?
That's water. It's ice cold, and he doesn't care. He's enjoying every minute of it, and so too are his players for Marshall.
The polar plunge, baby. We told you it was coming. Man, those guys are jacked up. What a cool moment to see for that man. Head coach, first bowl victory. Awesome.
Marshall is headed in the right direction under second-year head coach Charles Huff. That'll do it for us. Final score 28-14. Congratulations to the Thundering Herd, your Myrtle Beach Bowl champions. Now let's get you to Lambeau Field, where the Monday Night Countdown crew is standing by. So long, guys.
recap a wild Sunday. But first, breaking news late this afternoon from Adam on Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts.
All right, Susie, Jalen Hurts sprained his shoulder late in the third quarter during the win over Chicago on this play where he's driven into the ground. He's got a sprained shoulder. He obviously will see how he's feeling this week, but there's a real possibility that Gardner Minshew will still.
Welcome everyone to the Myrtle Beach Bowl trophy presentation ceremony. And to start us off, I'm going to hand it over to Rachel Quigley. She is the executive director for the Myrtle Beach Bowl to hand out the MVP of this game.
Congratulations, Marshall and Rasheen Ali, on being the MVP of the 2022 Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Now, Rasheen, I got to ask you, you've been through it this year, battling an injury, coming back from it. How is this moment soaking it in with your team?
First off, I just really want to thank the Most High. I want to thank my team, honestly, for just working hard and busting their butt all year, honestly, man. It's just been a long year. We've been working since January all the way, and this moment really means a lot to us. So I really want to thank my team and just celebrate this moment with each other.
Congratulations, Rasheen. Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right, and then, of course, we have to hand out the big one. Rachel, with the team championship trophy to Marshall.
Congratulations, Coach Huff and the 2022 Marshall Thundering
All right, let me get Coach here. Let's bring you in, Huff. So, tell me about this moment. This was a battle. You knew it was going to be, but your defense stood strong. What did you think of their performance?
Yeah, I'm just so proud of these guys, man. It's been a great year. We've had some ups, we've had some downs, but these guys have stayed committed to the process. These coaches, these players, everybody involved. Just really excited for them. You know, sometimes you go through life and you don't always get your reward for the work you put in, but these guys have, you know, bound together through the thick and the thin. These fans have been behind us. Just so happy for these guys, man. You know, sometimes, you know, the good Lord shines down on you when you do what you're supposed to do, and these guys battled, and I'm really proud of them.
We saw you get the ice bath on the sidelines, and you were jumping around with your team. What was that moment like for you?
Yeah, I know we're hard on these guys. We're hard on them, and they put in a lot of hard work. So to see them have a little bit of fun at the end is really good.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Congratulations. Go enjoy it with your app.
Thank you, guys. Go Herd.
All right, everyone. Congratulations to Marshall, the Myrtle Beach Bowl champions.